Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 17 of the Migtown podcast, your only weekly source for the truest of BBC news. As always, I am producer Tim, and with me is the mayor of Migtown himself, Drexel.
What is up, everybody out there in the world?
All right, Drex, well, what'd you bring in for us today?
All right, guys. Today is basically going to be me talking about a lot of the current events, right? I want to talk about, there's a lot of things that have happened in the last week. And first and foremost, we'll take a moment of silence for all the victims of the Colorado shooting. So we'll go ahead and just take a quick moment of silence there. Let's start. First and foremost, about Colorado. First thing is, I knew this guy was not black. Not because he went and Minecrafted people, but because there's one piece of information that lets me know whether or not someone is black. And you know what that is, Tim?
They took him alive.
Took him alive. For those of you who aren't red-pilled and don't understand, you guys could be listening or watching from anywhere on this planet. Wherever you are on this big blue marble, just know that in America, and whenever there's a mass shooting or anything that's crazy, and you hear suspect was apprehended, that means he's not black. I'm just going to let you guys know that right now. If you ever hear he was gunned down or whatever, then you're like, hey, he was black.
The only black, mass shooter that I can think of recently was the guy in Dallas who shot all the police officers. They used a C4 attached to a robot to take him out.
Yep. Dude, black people aren't going to get the whole, we're going to apprehend you and bring you in for questioning. No, they're going to fucking kill you, right?
And then there's the Canadian mass shooter who got talked into surrendering by the RCMP without firing a single shot.
Right. Well, I mean, Canada's
like, sorry,
right? Yeah, you guys just have a whole different culture.
Oh, no. We definitely have a gun culture here. It's the circumstances were different. For anyone who's curious, I'm referencing, of course, the Winnipeg reservist who tried to arrest the prime minister and stormed the prime minister's residence with his pickup truck and a gun, and he got talked into surrendering by the security there. Harry's guns had to go to someone. But yeah, that the difference between Canadian mass shooters and actually that's not true because we just had one out in Halifax. Ironically enough, he got all his guns from the U.S., but he disguised himself as a police officer and pulled people over and then executed them. God
damn. So the moral of the story: don't stop for cops.
Don't stop for cops. That's the moral of the story, guys. And run Actually, I just got tagged for running a light.
Ooh.
That's okay. Damn. I'll take it to court. That was bullshit.
Well, hot damn. When I'm looking at what has happened, we kind of look at what's occurred over this past week, and I want to just really kind of hammer home some points with a lot of the current events that have occurred. And NBC News has an article here about what happened in Colorado by Tim Stello and Minnie Von Burke. It refers to the 10 people who were Minecrafted, including a police officer, after a gunman walked into a grocery store in Boulder, Colorado on Monday and began randomly Minecrafting shoppers, right? The officer, Eric Talley, 51, an 11-year veteran of the Boulder police force, was the first officer to arrive at the King Soopers grocery store Monday afternoon, Police Chief Maris Harold said. He had been dispatched after gunfire was reported. He was a father of 7, I believe. I remember reading that in some other article, and it goes on to talk about some of the people who were taken away obviously far too soon, and the ages really ranged from I think the youngest one I saw was like 20, something like that, and you had some elderly people, and you just think about the fact that all of us, the only constant that we really had during the whole pandemic, the plandemic, this fake ass bullshit. The only thing that we had that was, I think everyone can say, was a sense of normalcy, or at least consistency. Was that they did stuff inside. The whole everyone was kind of Netflix and chilling, right? Everyone was inside doing something, usually most likely online. And the other thing was you had to go to the store to get food, right? We're saying most everyone, especially in the West, goes to the grocery store, a local store to go grab food and all that stuff to eat and all that because not everyone was working. For everyone who lost their job or got reduced hours during the pandemic, that is definitely unfortunate. But when I look at just the breakdown of what happened, and the suspect, and I look at this suspect, I look at this piece of shit, and as you guys know, I am very against bitch made simps and beta male cuck manginas, and I'm looking at the guy, Ahmad Al Aliwi Alyssa. This dude is the most bitch made and cowardly individuals that you can imagine, right? And when we look at people like this, when more details come out about this guy, you guys kind of already know where it's headed, right? Everyone knows who engages in this kind of behavior. You see what I'm saying? And the people who typically engage in this kind of behavior are, like I said, these are betas, right? These are guys who usually are losers, right? Life isn't going so great. Like you don't see people who are successful, who are on their purpose, who are doing their own thing, suddenly being like, you know what, I'm mad at the world and I need to go harm innocent people, right?
The Las Vegas shooter.
Yeah. The Las Vegas shooter is the one exception to the shooter profile, like ever.
The exception to every rule, which is why, like, if you want to talk about false flag attacks, this is the only one I'm willing to accept.
Yeah, it's dude. Like I said, we have to kind of sit back and wait to see, as more details emerge. But I am willing to bet you this is someone who probably wasn't very popular, wasn't very good with women, took it out in some way, shape, or fashion, right?
Did you see his Facebook post?
No. What was the Facebook post about?
Oh man. Oh, I almost don't want to spoil this. He put on his Facebook hashtag I need a girlfriend.
There it is. Yeah, what's crazy? Our girl, Bird Girl, asked, "Was he an incel?" Right? Because all I saw was his face. I saw his face. I took one look at this dude's face. I was like, "This is what I'm talking about." And I'm going to get to that later, toward the end. Um, I want to get toward the end about why we need to hold each other accountable and the kinds of young men and women that we're creating. That the society is creating, right? And, even before I get to that, I want to just make sure I do a quick jab at Zack Snyder. And this is the reason why, obviously, everyone kind of knows about Zack Snyder basically throwing people under the bus on that suicide prevention donation. And it kind of goes hand in hand with the fact that you've created a society where you prop up certain people, right? You prop up certain people. So whether it be celebrity worship, whether, incels, right? They worship vagina, right? Remember what I told you guys? There's spectrums, right? There's a spectrum.
If you're a Nick server, you get the full exposure to the spectrum.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Tim? Think about it.
Oh yeah. I know. I'm trying to make an autistic joke.
TFM talks about all the time. He's like, when we had that stream, and I've watched his show for a long time. He told me, he's like, dude, when you go to a lot of these so-called, white nationalists and stuff, he goes, these dudes are as gynocentric gets. They're really just fucking unsuccessful, broke ass white folks who are simps who just want all the welfare, right?
Well, this guy isn't white, but
No, this guy isn't. But I'm saying what you're starting to realize though is this: understand, in a society that has gone full gynocentric, where the woman is above God, right? The word of a woman is above the word of anything that's in a Bible. You know what I'm saying? If that's supposed to be the word of God, that doesn't matter. But Me Too does. You see what I'm saying? So what ends up happening is the unsuccessful simp is an incel. He worships women. The successful simp is the pickup artist, the PUA, right? Both of them, their entire identity is defined by their relationships with women. And that's something that we don't teach you to ever do right here on this channel. When you come to the Migtown podcast, man, you're hearing that real shit. And real shit is not defining yourself as a man by how many chicks you can slay, or if you don't get to slay any at all. No. You go on your own path. You do everything for yourself, right?
And it's perfectly okay to just check right out and be like, man, I look at the family courts. I look at Me Too. I don't want any of this. I'm out. I'm just out.
Yeah,
I'm done.
you're, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when you have people who are pushing certain narratives, and let me just give a quick jab shout out to bitch made Tariq Nasheed. First of all, anyone who listens to this asshat, race baiting fucking clown, real black people do not accept this person. He can go along the wall along with all the rest of them. That includes Jesse Jackson. That includes Al Sharpton and anyone else who's been running their mouth for the last 6 fucking decades who ain't about shit. Okay. Fuck Tariq Nasheed. I'm telling you, this dude, you can't come up with anything on this earth that's somehow not white people's fault. And I would be just as harsh on the white nationalists who blame everything on, who do they blame? Blacks, Mexicans, and Jews. It's like the same old shit over. It's like, dude, can you take any accountability? So Tariq Nasheed was trying to say that, he even spelled the name wrong, got everything wrong, trying to talk about how this Alyssa person is really a white guy. No, it's not. Okay? It's not. Stop. See, because it's a narrative. It's no different than if you guys have ever been around a radical feminist. They will find a way to blame men or the patriarchy. They'll find a way. Like, there can be no man around, no man. They will find a way to make it men's fault. It doesn't even matter, right? And when you look at, like I said, this is kind of tying in, obviously, within the last week and change about, what happened in Atlanta. And, you guys heard about what happened with the massage parlor. I don't need to get into the details, but what I will get into is, Tim, some news came across my desk about that guy, right? And apparently he was heavy into porn, right? Yet he was one of these Bible thumpers, right? He was trying to, do the holier than thou talk, those kind of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you look at Biden's response, and Biden is a bitch made beta male simp cuck mangina, make no mistake. And you look at Biden's response, because remember this, beta males and women are the exact same. They come from the same energy. And their energy is always to deflect blame. They don't take accountability for anything. So the accountability that's not taken is that this society and this country has let down its boys and its men by putting women first, not the family first. And the family, the way that you put the family first is the man is the head, period. That's how you get order. Okay. So what happens is these people always blame what, Tim? They blame the gun, right? The gun is the problem.
Yeah, if it's not a straight white male shooter, then it's the gun's fault.
Yep. It's always blame the gun, right? The guns have never killed anybody in history. Never have, never will. Someone is pulling that trigger. The question is, what kind of person is pulling that trigger? Oh, that's right. Bitch-made beta males. If there were in an alpha society, dudes don't do this shit like what happened in Colorado. Dudes don't do this shit that would happen in Atlanta. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you got to beef with someone, lock both of you inside an octagon, fight it out, and then go have a beer afterwards.
Yeah, you go do your own thing, man. Like you aren't trying to like those kind of thoughts don't even creep in your head, man. And speaking of Atlanta, let me just take a special time today, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we need a moment of silence for those ladies who provide a service to the mankind.
Absolutely. But I'll tell you what is not a gift. And what is not a gift is this new hashtag I've heard about that came to my attention. You've heard it, right? Stop Asian hate.
Yeah. Yeah, meanwhile, colleges and universities are like, oh boy.
Yeah, right?
We don't want to discriminate against Asians anymore, and universities are like, fuck.
Well, Stop Asian hate I found to be laughable for a variety of reasons, right? And let me just start because, like I said, I'm not even going to sit there and do what most people do, right? Like, I have Asian friends, but I don't even need to say all that shit. My resume speaks for itself, right? I don't hate anybody, but I'm going to go ahead and get into these fucking people, okay? Anyone who's pushing this hashtag, anyone who's running their goddamn mouth, remember who I'm always against, ladies and gentlemen: hypocrisy, okay? And let's talk about this goddamn hypocrisy with this Stop Asian hate. Let's just start with I'm going to start off real soft. I'm just going to put in the tip real quick. And Asians, as a general rule of thumb, are pale-skinned worshipers, okay? And J-Love is going to have a little story for you guys when she went to go get a pedicure, right? And they always talk about the pale skin and all this stuff. And Asians wish they were white people, okay? When you look at all the surgery, last time I checked, correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen, but South Korea is, I think, it might be number one for surgery, for cosmetic surgery, right? And when you look at these Koreans, let me ask you something, Tim. When they're going out there getting surgeries, what kind of features do you think these Asians are trying to get? What are they going for?
Yeah, they absolutely are going for the German Shepherd look. No, they're turning themselves white.
They want to look white, right? Yeah. So yeah, people are going literally white face. They're trying to do whatever they can to emulate someone else while talking. So you know what it is? This is projection. A lot of Asians have self-hate. I see it in the Black community, where a lot of German Shepherds in particular have self-hate. They crave white validation. So thus you see them with blonde wigs. I see lots of Asians with trying to have blonde hair, putting in these colored contacts, the blue contacts in their eyes, cutting up their fucking faces to look white. Nothing against white people. You're born, you look the way you look. If you're Asian and you look the way you look and you are happy with who you are and you love who you are as a person, no problem with you at all. No disrespect. But what I will not tolerate are people out here cutting up their fucking faces and trying to tell these boys and girls that there's something wrong with them because of their features. Listen, Asian features are beautiful because you own it, okay? You have distinctive features, so fucking own it, okay? Don't hit me with this stop Asian hate, but every time all these people are sitting there running their mouth, they're always trying to get some white features. So no, fuck Asian hate, okay? This stop Asian hate. And then let's look at anime, right? When you look at anime and video games, I've been playing games all my life. I know how the game goes. Every time I look up, do you know who Asians are trying to be? Who's trying to put in their games and who, in their animes, what the characters look like? White people, okay? They don't even look Asian. They don't even look Asian. So don't tell me about stop Asian hate, okay? I'm gonna tell these Asians, shut the fuck up, okay? And then let's go on to how they did poor John Boyega, right? He never said nothing bad about Asians, last I checked, right? And do you know what they did to John Boyega, Tim? You know what they did, audience? When the Return of Skywalker was coming out, Asians had a very particular thing they wanted to do with John Boyega. That's right. They downsized him on the poster. He's one of the three main characters, right? It was, Daisy Ridley's character, Rey, Oscar Isaac's character, Poe Dameron, and then John Boyega was Finn, right? Yet Asians didn't want Black people featured prominently on those Star Wars posters. Thanks, Disney. Remember, Miss Anti-Racist Disney? Walt Disney himself, yes, the man behind all the Disney worship, was a known fucking racist. So fuck Walt Disney. Fuck all these people out there in China and all these other Asian countries who wanted to get John Boyega stripped off the poster or downsized and minimized. Because I'll tell you what, if there was an Asian person who was featured prominently, I have never once heard someone say, yeah, man, we want to make sure that the Asian people are minimized on a poster. No. If it's a movie starring Asians, I want Asians there. I sat there and watched The Raid. I believe that movie was out of Jakarta. Dude, I love that movie. I put that movie, that might be in my top 3 favorite action movies in history. I don't watch shit and say, I don't want to see the people on screen. No, show me you, show me your culture, show me things about what you're talking about from your side of the world, right? That's how I am. You know what I'm saying? So don't be sitting there trying to run your mouth about all this. Oh, stop Asian hate. But yeah, you. How did you treat Black people? How did you treat these people over there? How did you treat those people over there? And let me just stop by saying this, because I broke bread with plenty of Asians before, okay? And I'll tell you what, I look at China. Even before we even get to that, let me just say this. Asians will be the first to tell you this. They will be the absolute first to say Asians within their own ethnic groups are extremely fucking racist, okay? You got, Chinese don't like Japanese. Japanese don't like Koreans. Koreans don't like Cambodians. They don't like the Filipinos. They don't like... You start looking like... and don't get me wrong, I've seen this in other cultures too, right? Everyone does this, right? Everyone does it, okay? So, the stop Asian hate, why don't you guys stop hating yourselves first? Huh? Because every time Black people say something, what about Black on Black crime? What about Asian on Asian crime? Okay. You want me to tell you what happened in World War II? Want me to tell you what the Japanese did to the Chinese? Or do you guys not want me to talk about that? See? Why don't we stop Asian hate back then? That was in the 1930s and 40s. Fuck stop Asian hate hashtag.
Absolutely. World War II would have been prevented if someone had just put a hashtag that says stop the war.
Yep. Stop Asian hate, man. Don't go murder the people who are in the neighboring country, right? And then let's look at some other strikes I'm going to give against this whole hashtag of Stop Asian Hate. Let's talk about that commercial. Didn't you guys remember that commercial where they didn't want the black man and she threw him into a fucking washing machine and he came out this Asian dude, and then all of a sudden that's something to celebrate? Open racism. Okay. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this because I'm black. Once again, you guys know me. I talk about hypocrisy on this channel. Okay.
Oh, you want hypocrisy, Drex. Everyone and a couple people in the chat are like, oh, China's got concentration camps rounding up the Muslims. Look, no one gives a shit about the Muslims getting drone struck by every president going back as far as I can remember, right? We're not going to care about those Muslims. But yeah, the Uyghur Muslims, we're going to care about them. They're getting rounded up in a concentration camp. You know, never mind that we're blowing every fucking Muslim country up. That's
right. What do I always say? You know me. Like I said, anyone who's followed me, you guys have seen me on Ricada Law. Shout out to my man, Nick. You guys know how I get down. Say what you will about me, but I'm always consistent. I'm consistent. I will point out the hypocrisy, right? And like I said, when I look around, whether it be concentration camps, whether it be the horrible acts of war the Japanese committed on other Asians, right? I know my history.
The Canadians saved Hong Kong.
Yeah.
The Christmas Day battle.
Yeah.
We do so much for it. No respect for it.
Yeah, you guys do get no respect. But here's the thing, though. You have to get to a point where you're being fair with your criticism, right? Fair.
And we're not, definitely, because Justin Trudeau absolutely will not criticize China. But even all the people who are like, oh, I want to criticize China because they run concentration camps. Fuck LeBron James, first of all. Also, fuck the new Mulan.
I heard that shit. Got outdone by like Avatar and shit.
If you want to criticize China, how about criticizing China for what it does to manipulate currency? How about criticize China for what it's done to labor markets across the world, where it's impossible to manufacture anything in your home country anymore? How about blame China for why it takes 3 months to get a piece of plastic shipped to you to fix your air compressor, right?
That's right.
You can criticize China a lot of legitimate ways for a lot of things that they do. The whole I'm going to criticize China because of the concentration camps. But meanwhile, Iran and Saudi Arabia are basically running proxy battles across the globe, assassinating journalists, drone striking fucking nuclear scientists. Yeah, don't worry about all that. Don't worry about that.
People think all of this shit is just, not everyone is noticing. Dude, I notice things, man. And I make a point of it. And that's why, on this channel, and like I said, you guys who have seen me on other people's channels, you guys know how I get down. And if someone puts out a hashtag, you guys know I'm anti-BLM. So anyone who's like, Drex is horrible. I heard what he said about he's not signing on to stop Asian hate. You goddamn right I'm not. Just like I don't co-sign to Black Lives Matter. Fuck BLM. See, I'm consistent. Just like I'm consistent when I go at these fucking Chinese people when they had black people sleeping outside like fucking animals, saying, oh, they brought the coof. Remember that? How many of you guys remember that shit? Remember that? They had those Africans out sleeping out. Oh, last I checked, Tim, I don't know where their news sources come from in China. I didn't hear one news source say, man, it sure originated in Africa. I didn't hear that about the coof. Not one. But we did hear about some shit coming out of Wuhan. And yet, how did those Chinese people treat black people? But you want me to stop Asian hate, right? And how about let me go ahead and say this. For all non-Asian people out there, non-Asians, this is for all my non-Asians. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been around Asians who can speak English and they can communicate with you, but as soon as you show up, they want to start speaking in native tongue, right? And for those of you who understand their language, they will tell you exactly what's going on. It's usually a bunch of insults.
I do know a couple of white guys who are fluent in Mandarin, and
what do they say? Are they usually insulting people? Keep it real. Keep it real. Insults. So shut the fuck up.
If they think that you don't know the language, they will talk about you. They'll make a comment about your looks, or
but it's always something negative. Listen, man, it's always negative, bro.
Because they thought he couldn't understand.
Thought he couldn't say correct, dude. I already know, man. Like I said, look, guys. When I tell you guys, I broke bread with there's no type of person I haven't broke bread with. I promise you. I've been all around. I've been around every kind of person. And like I said, guys, don't think this is me taking it out. This is me addressing a hashtag, addressing some kind of little movement in motion, because I'm going to be the first to tell you other people, other ethnic groups do it too. Okay. For all you Latinos out there, y'all can eat a fucking dick too. Okay. Because I've seen all kinds of hatred coming toward Black people from the Latino community. I didn't even know about this growing up because my best friend was Latino, obviously, right? But as I came of age, I started hearing about all this stuff. And I was like, wait a minute, what? And then I remember hearing, dude, I was heartbroken when I found out that Eva Longoria, right? World famous actress, and she's not a good actress, but she looked great, right? Prime Eva Longoria was gorgeous. She said in an interview that she wasn't even given the proper respect because growing up, wait for this, guys, wait for this. Of her sisters, they said that she was considered the ugly one because she was darker than the rest. Okay, don't think these Latinos don't worship white zaddy either, and I don't care about anybody. Look at the names. Look, man, I tell people all the time, I am not playing games when it comes to these. Like I said, I will go hard at Black people too, because Black people will be the first people to talk. They'll talk bad about white people, how pale their skin is, and oh, she's so white. Look at Nicole Kidman. I don't know why anyone thinks she's pretty. Look at that. Oh my gosh, she's like a ghost. So they will talk bad about Nicole Kidman's skin color, right? Pale, fair-skinned people. Yet, oh my God, did someone just say something about how dark my skin is? Oh, it's so red. Fuck, they're all. It comes from the same place. Hypocrisy. Okay, and I call it out the way I see it. And you guys talk about Asian women. I'll tell you what, right now, Tim, you can ask any Black person this. If you are sitting in a group of Black people, men and women, and a commercial comes on TV, they always want to know. It's the Black women. It's never the dudes. They always want to know what ethnicity the girl is. She looks like she's mixed with this. Oh, what is? And they will. And now that there's Google, they will look that shit up. Black women are obsessed with colorism. It's them. They're the ones calling you purple pal if you're a little dark. They're the ones calling you dusty and all this, but fuck them. That's why I go hard at German Shepherds. See, I am fair with what I say. No one can ever say, no, Drex is a liar. Drex is a hypocrite. No, fuck that. I go hard at these Asians. I'll go hard at Latinos, white folks. It does not matter. Anybody can get this goddamn smoke. If you're out here sitting there trying to push a hashtag and out here saying some stop this hate, stop that hate, but you're hating on people each and every day, why don't you guys listen? For those of you guys who don't know anything about Asia, go to any of these Asian countries. These are the most xenophobic people you'll find. Very xenophobic. That's why if you go to these countries, Tim, if I go to Canada, which I've been, you go to these places, you go to South America, you will see different ethnic groups. But when you start going to these Asian countries, you're like, I don't see anyone other than the native people. Do you know what that's called, people? When you see people have access to this country, xenophobia, okay? They don't want non-insert random ethnic group here in their fucking country, okay? They don't want them to breed, okay? So it is what it is. So don't tell me about stop Asian hate, okay? Why don't you stop hating on other people and stop hating yourselves and stop hating all that? You see what I'm saying?
You were talking about the obsession with skin color.
Yep.
I was watching a documentary about the residential schools with the natives up here in Canada. One of the things that really stuck with me was there was a scene where like two native girls are like washing their hands in a sink, right? Mm-hmm. And the older girl who's been at the school for a couple of years tells like the new, it was like a freshman, but these are like elementary school kids, right? So she tells the youngest girl who's a first year at the residential school that you have to scrub really hard because you have to wash the native off your skin.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Let's be honest though. People do it in other ways. Like I'll give you an example. In people's names, I've always told you guys, I paid very close attention to this growing up. They never ever. I've noticed this. White people don't adopt other ethnic groups' names. Okay, as a general rule of thumb, you go look at white people's names, you're not going to find a white guy named Fang. You see what I'm saying? But you'll find plenty of Asians named Tim. See, you see what I'm talking about? So you can talk about, colonialism, this and that, but at the end of the day, where's your fucking pride? Do you know that to this day, Tim, one of the first things that makes me smile when I meet an Asian person is when they tell me their name, and it's an ethnic name, right? It's an ethnically Asian name. I'm like, I like that. because it tells me a lot about their parents that they respect their heritage. You see what I'm saying? When I start hearing these names like Tim, Michael, Jim, I'm like, wait a minute now. Hold on.
Now, there's also the thing of like anglicizing your name, right?
No, I don't want to hear it. Nope. I don't allow it. Nope. I hold them accountable. Nope. Yeah. My name is in the heaven name, and then they'll say, "But call me Bob." No, I'm not calling you fucking Bob. If your name is Tou, okay, then that's your fucking name. That's what I'm going to refer to you as. Do not say your name is Jim. I will not address you as Jim. What is the name on your birth certificate? That's who you are. Now, if you have a nickname of that, like call me Billy, but my real name is William. Yeah, I'll respect that. But you're not going to have a name that fits your ethnicity. But you want me to call you some Anglo-Saxon name? Fuck you. Fuck your parents. Fuck your self-hate. Okay, I will call you out. You don't hear me saying Drexel. You don't hear me walking around going, "No, I know my name is Drexel, but I know I want you to call me Bob." No, I'm not fucking Bob, okay?
Got a lot of Bob hate going on today. Okay, well, I'll be the first to tell you that Tim is not a native name. And actually, my last name's not native either, but no, I definitely if someone gave me a native name, I would not want it. I absolutely would not want to be called there's a lot of jokes about how native chiefs name the kids.
I love their names. I love native names. Love them. I love them. See, I love people's. I love you guys know I'm a world traveler, man. I'm out here traveling. I'm out here meeting people. I've been everywhere. I've talked to every kind of fucking person on this planet, and that's something that I really do take to heart, man. That shit really does mean a lot to me. Is anyone can sit there and talk about some it's like someone saying black pride, and then you hear these names and they try to be as Anglo-Saxon as possible. You know what? You can eat a fucking dick. Okay. That's what I tell these parents. Don't be because people try to play both sides of the fence and like, well, I just want them to blend in. Assimilation. No, fuck assimilation. Like, I'll give you a prime example. Let me give you guys a prime example. World famous actor Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? We love that name, Schwarzenegger. Do you know what happened when he first came to Hollywood, Tim? Do you know what the name they wanted to use because they didn't want to use Schwarzenegger? You know what they wanted to call him? Arnold Strong. Remember, I've been following this guy since Hercules in New York, bro. I love me some Arnold because guess what? This is what happens when let me give you guys just a little thing about Arnold. He formed his own path, something that we talk about here, right? He lifted weights, smart. He's a bright dude, just like Dolph Lundgren. Dolph Lundgren is a bright dude, okay? These guys flew into multiple languages. They came over. They went to test their luck doing X, Y, and Z in the film industry. But guess what? They kept their native names. And for people who don't understand why that's important, when a producer says, we want to call you Arnold Strong because we don't think that audiences are going to be able to even sing a name like Schwarzenegger, maybe you don't even become famous when your name is Arnold Strong. You see what I'm saying? So guess what, Tim? For all those people out there, this is for all you kids out there who may not, be comfortable with your name or your ethnicity or something. You guys know I'm all about promoting positivity here in self-growth and self-respect. Let me tell you guys something. The world made themselves know his name because he didn't shy away from his name. No. My name is not Arnold Strong. My name is Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I find it funny that name rolls off everyone's tongue now, right? Schwarzenegger. Oh man, when's the new Schwarzenegger movie coming out? We say this kids, oh man, the new Schwarzenegger. See, we didn't say the new Arnold Strong movie. Fuck you. See, and people don't understand why this stuff is a big deal, man. It really does matter. The same reason why you see all these people out here cutting up their faces and wanting to change their nose, Michael Jackson, wanting to change their face, wanting to there's bleaching clinics in the world, y'all. These Africans that preach all this fucking African unity. Oh, I love my black self. No, you don't. Why are you in a bleaching clinic? Why are bleaching clinics so popular in the islands? Like, especially island black people. You want to talk about someone who's really fucked up. Talk to some island blacks. They worship white features. Okay, they ain't shit. I call them out too. See, I'm being fair.
Would you bleach your asshole to get rid of the family court?
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. I do a lot of things to get rid of the family court, man. Because
bleach asshole is one of them.
It's the purest evil in the world, man. But this goes back to something I've talked about before, you guys. It's all about standards, right? It's all about standards. It's okay to discriminate, okay? But I always tell people this: you discriminate based on someone's personal choice. I don't discriminate based on, oh, you're born a man, you're born a woman, you're this, you're that, you're tall, you're short. No, 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 no. What did someone choose to be? Did you choose to be an SJW? We discriminate against SJWs around here. You understand? You see how this goes? You discriminate against people who make choices who are on fuck shit. When you see simps, remember, they choose to simp. They choose to throw dudes under the bus. That woman chooses to be a thought. That woman chooses to be on OnlyFans. Okay. Well, guess what? You don't get a ring on your finger. Well, Drex, I want to be a wife. No, you don't. Are you a virgin? No, then you don't deserve to be a wife. See? No hymen, no diamond. Okay. You discriminate based on choice.
That's going on a shirt. No hymen, no diamond. That's definitely going on a shirt.
I am not playing. I told y'all, man. When I declare war, people think, oh, Drex is just saying this stuff. Listen, man, it's important to understand what's really going down. That's why when I look at things that have come to my attention, and we need to talk about something very serious right now for everybody listening. We have somebody in Wisconsin now, don't we, Tim? A very special somebody, right? He's not just anybody, Tim. He's not just a fly-by-night guy that people just kind of go, oh, man, he's nobody special, right? Because when people want to give, you guys have always noticed this in life, right? Someone will sit down and give all kinds of credit and kudos and glory to somebody based on their job description, right? We should respect this person because he's this. Oh, that person doesn't really mean much, right? We see that more often than we care to admit, don't we? Well, let me just go ahead and tell you guys a story right now. I got an article here.
Story time.
And this is about a very special person from Spencer Bakuli. And here it goes. We're gonna go ahead and go to Wisconsin real quick, y'all.
Let's zoom in on Wisconsin.
Judge. Of course, fuck those people. Right here. It's called Cream. Yeah, look. It's called Cream City Foundation. Anybody out there who actually heard that name and didn't raise at least one eyebrow, you're already suspect to me.
I mean, apparently Milwaukee is called the Cream City.
Nope. We're not allowing that. We're not allowing Cream City when you deal with children. Nope. You got to call it something else, especially in light of what this guy is guilty of, allegedly. So let's go down the line. Spencer Bakuli. Children's court judge and former CEO of foundation that sponsored, quote unquote, drag queen story hour, arrested for possession of cheese pizza. Right?
Oh, God, color me shocked.
Color me shocked, right? It says Milwaukee County Judge Brett Blum, Blomme, right? So go ahead and Google him, and his husband, who once served as a CEO of a foundation that provided fiscal support for a local chapter of Drag Queen Story Hour, has been arrested on 7 counts of possessing CP, right?
Wait. He's gay?
Yeah, he has a husband. So they adopted boys. Notice they adopted boys.
Oh,
see,
boy.
Hey, where's my progressives at? Where's all my progressives? Remember, you guys are pushing this, right? Gay marriage, yes. 2 men who play tickle booty. One's a top, one's a bottom. They can raise boys to be men. Okay.
Well, okay.
All right.
Now this is again, before we hit record, we were talking about things that you can't talk about in the open because everyone just clenches their asshole, right? And that's another thing is the incidence rate among homosexual married couples when it comes to like raising kids.
Mm-hmm.
And these are things you can't talk about because apparently it's homophobic. But like Milo got canceled because he talked about the relationship between gay men and younger boys. And when I say younger boys, I'm talking like teenage boys. But like Milo got canceled for trying to talk about that stuff.
Yeah. See, accountability, ladies and gentlemen, accountability. As I look at this article, right, I sit here and I look at the whole thing, right? He was arrested on March 16th following an investigation sparked by a tip sent to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, right? And you start going, look, his name was Dom Master BB, right?
Oh,
Kick
also, yeah, you
messaging.
said something else that caught my eye too.
What's that?
What is a child court judge? Is that like youth sentencing, like juvenile,
I'm assuming.
or is
I'm
that
not
family
quite
court?
sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what a child court judge is, but the fact that this man held, a high position in the community, no different than John Wayne Gacy, a known serial killer, right? The Mad Clown Killer. So
Yeah,
before you guys want to sit here and try to say, because I mean, Tim, you know how when I'm on Nick's show, and I've taken my share of shots from a lot of people. Like, there was a guy who had emailed Nick and said how Nick's going to burn in hell for having a guy like me around his children and blah blah blah. And then
yeah.
because apparently I'm a pedo, right? And then what happened,
Who's
Tim?
actually dangerous to children?
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna get into that shit. But see, what's funny though is that when Nick and I were going to Target, we were going to pick up some stuff. He goes, "Yeah, you remember that guy who really came really hard in the super chats and all that stuff with the email?" I said, "Yeah. Yeah. He confessed to me he was a fucking pedo." Oh, let that sink in.
Hmm.
Projection. See? See,
Well, I'm always suspicious of someone who willingly goes out and wants to be in the proximity of strangers' children. Always.
absolutely.
I'm always
Boy
suspicious of
Scouts,
that, right? Like that's
priests,
the thing. Like when I've been to Nick's house before and he's introduced me to his kids and it's just like, "Oh, hey. Cool. I'm just going to stay here with Nick." Right?
yeah, it's like no one, like no guy is really out there like seeking out to be sitting there engaging with people, especially strangers, kid. Like let alone someone that right? Like that's one thing, but like strangers, kids, like literally sitting there going, "Look, Jerry Sandusky, right? Dr. Larry Nassar. Don't worry, I'm gonna get into that fucking piece of shit too." You see what I'm saying?
I've
See
said this
this.
guy's name a couple of times, but Google Ben Levin out of Ontario. This is a guy who was consulted when they rewrote the sex ed curriculum in Ontario schools. And turns out, hey, he was online coaching a mother on how to abuse her daughters.
Of course, of course, of course. Funny because I've never done that.
Real scumbag. The
Exactly. Because
biggest
see,
of scumbags.
the people who get blamed aren't the guy. It's not them, Tim. I'm saying the people who are called monsters in this world. "Oh, this guy's a monster, dude. Come on, man." And the fact that people still believe this, the fact that I've gotten on elevators and seen women clutch their purse. I'm like, lady, are you serious? The least, if you're a white woman, the person who's least likely to do something to you is a big, huge black guy, right? Very
Like, so you
unlikely.
have like zero chance of getting away with it. You're the
Zero chance of getting
first
away with it.
suspect.
Zero. So if
Yeah.
you're sitting there going, "Oh my god, I wonder if," no, no. That's why when you guys look at these, we start looking at videos and stuff. Now, obviously, hood rats are hood rats, but we're saying as a general rule of thumb, right? As a general rule of thumb, if you're not in the middle of the hood, how many times are just random black dudes doing stuff? Doesn't really happen. And a lot of times you have these crazy ass moms who, kill their kids, they do stuff to their kids. And they Susan Smith, who went and ran
Oh
the car
God.
down and killed her mom and killed her fucking kids. And what did she do? Blame a black guy. Yeah, same old shit. I've
There
seen it
was
too
someone who
often.
put in the news article. Apparently, a mother went to like abandon her kid in a wildlife zone and then ran him over with her car when he tried getting back into her car,
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah,
then
yeah. I
threw his
did read about
body
that.
into the
Yeah,
river.
redhead. Is some redhead looking chick. Yeah, crazy,
Oh
right?
God, she looks like a fucking
She
train
looked
wreck.
crazy. Yeah, I think I was on posted that because I saw it in someone else's thing. It was actually on LOM's channel. Check out Line to Migtown, by the way. Great channel. But I look at this situation with this Wisconsin judge, right? And let me get this straight. I want this to really sit into you guys' heads out there, you ladies and gentlemen. Someone who's pushing drag queen reading to children. You're shot, and it is married to a dude who also looks very suspect. And this is not a knock on just gay people. Don't think that because I know people are gonna say, "Oh, is Drex homophobic?" No, 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 no. I would say the same thing about a so-called heterosexual, like Jared from Subway, allegedly, right?
I wouldn't call him heterosexual.
Yeah, I don't know what that thing is. Pansexual. I don't know. Yeah, listen, man, these
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
right here
yeah.
just going for everything, right?
Throw him in the alphabet soup.
Exactly. But these are these progressives that people want to sit there and think is so okay. And oh, Drex is crazy. Oh, Nick is crazy. I don't know. Yeah, okay, sure. Then call me crazy. But When if someone says, "Yo, yeah, we want some drag queen reading to your fucking kids at school," yeah, no. And let me just go ahead and stop and say this, right? Because I always preach about accountability, right? The fact that no one stopped this, right? So my question is, who supported it, right?
Oh, well, it's stunning and brave, Drexel. It's so progressive to have these. Okay, have you ever been to a drag show?
I have.
It's
I have.
Would you describe it as serious, like an opera, or entertainment, like a strip club?
It's more of a strip club environment. Yeah, it's more,
Yeah, it's entertainment,
entertainment.
right?
Yep.
You're watching people make absolute fools of themselves,
Yep.
and it's entertaining to you.
Yeah.
All right? That's what a drag queen is. And you're going to go through that in front of your kids, and you're going to pretend that it's something it's not, right? You're, again, go back to your strip club analogy. You're putting essentially strippers in front of children, but then you're telling them, take the stripper seriously now. She's just doing it to get through college, little Jimmy. All right? Don't you dare disrespect her, because sex work's real work, Drex.
Well, look at it like this though, Tim. When you really think about it, you look at I would say the same thing from a heterosexual perspective, right? I wouldn't want strippers talking to children. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, could you? Oh, that's coming next. I guarantee fucking to you. I will fucking bet money on this. In 10 years, we will have strippers going into schools telling girls about the virtues of sex work.
Oh, no, it's already there, bro. Already there. Look up Ohio State University OnlyFans. Yep. Already there, man. Already there. They're teaching these girls. They got a class. Who is co-signing this, ladies and gentlemen? Who's co-signing it, right? Because here's the thing. This is why you hold people accountable. No. Do you remember when I talked about in my war episode that I don't believe that there should be a such thing as neutrality? No. Fuck neutrality. If you from now on you start checking people, okay? You start asking questions, right? You start putting people up and you say, no. You are going to tell me your stance on this. I don't want to hear this, well, I don't feel any kind of way. No. There's not gonna be any more of that. No more of this whole I'm not going to say where my, where my stance lies with pedophiles. I don't say where my stance lies with drag queens reading to kids and story hour and shit. Okay. Child sex trafficking. No. There's not gonna be any more I don't have an opinion anymore. Okay. Those days are over. What did I tell you guys in war? You draw battle lines. The days, all that old shit I told you guys, all that's over. Okay. And I look at it like this. When I look at these people who are out here doing this kind of, sick shit, who do they blame? They blame people like me. Okay. That's who they blame. All right. The deflection that these people do, that they believe their own, just their inherent bias, right? Whether it's the black brute or the white brute, right? They want to go ahead and push this narrative, right? That's how we get to Kill a Mockingbird, The Green Mile. They try to say, that's the bad guy. You see that big guy right there? That's the bad guy. No, it's them. That's why when I look at things like Nightmare on Elm Street, right? For all my horror fans out there, right? Freddy Krueger. Did you guys know that when Robert Englund auditioned for the part, you guys got to remember, man, at the time, horror movie villains were usually they were the brutes, right? They were big hulking monsters, right? And you look back at that, and Robert Englund said, hold on, man. Freddy is supposed to be a skinny weasel. And do you know why he should be a skinny weasel? Because, and this is coming from Robert Englund himself, he said, that's the kind of guy who molests kids. Because the original story, I don't know if you guys knew this, but the original story was that Freddy Krueger was a child molester. And then for those of you who are, wants a little bit of lore, it was changed from molester to killer due to the producers wanting to avoid comparisons to, there was a story out in California at the time, right? And there was a series of child molestations in California. They didn't want that, so they changed him to a child killer. But he was originally supposed to be an actual pedo. And he always said, it's a weasel. It's not going to be some big hulking dude who's doing that. So if Robert Englund figured that out, how come we as society can't, right? And then, let me just go ahead and say hello to Jared from Subway. Hello, Dr. Larry Nassar, and all you other scumbags like that, right? Because those are the guys.
James Graham. There's a couple of Canadian ones I'm going to throw into the list. Gordon
throw 'em in.
Stuckless.
Think about it, Tim. Why do you think there's a
Paul
registry,
Bernardo.
right? Why do you think that when you do these things, that your name gets put on a list, right? There's a reason your name gets put on the list because no one wants to be around a pedo. You see what I'm saying? And when I look at the deflection, I look at sabotage. Sabotage comes in so many forms, right? People want to push this progressive thing, and they want to blame the symptoms, right? They want to blame the symptoms on the invisible man, right? And when I look back, like this kind of reminds me of sports, right? I'll use the New England Patriots as an example. I want to go back to Super Bowl 49, right? New England Patriots versus Seattle Seahawks. That goal line play and the execution. How did you call that play and not know that's the stupidest shit you could have possibly done because they've already game planned for you for that? So my thing is this: if you have to do that play, if you tell me, Drex, no, Drex, I have to run this play, right? The quick slant, the dig route, right? Quick slant. If you have to run that play, you throw the ball low. And then we go fast forward. Let's go to Super Bowl 51, right? New England Patriots versus Atlanta Falcons. We all remember this game, right?
Oh, I do.
And here's what's beautiful about that game is that if you guys remember, A Christmas Story, the ghost of Christmas past, present, future, all that, Ebenezer Scrooge, all that kind of shit, right?
Never heard of it.
If the ghost of football future were to visit Atlanta Falcons head coach Dan Quinn the night before that game and told him, you will be ahead tomorrow 28-3 with only a couple minutes left in the third quarter. Do you know what Dan Quinn would have said to him? He would say, my game ball goes my defensive coordinator, because New England was an explosive offense, right? Explosive offense that year. So that's what Dan Quinn would have said, right? And then you fast forward. You have everything in your favor. And what do? You decide to choke the game away by doing the stupidest beta shit possible, like let hero ball and throw the ball. Dude, they had a metric released. Atlanta could have literally, Tim, I remember reading this. They could have kneeled on the ball for 3 downs and punted, and they would have won the game. Do you know that? But by default.
Ryan taking the sack on third down, which put him out of field goal range. If they kick that field goal, game over.
Here's the thing. It shouldn't have even gotten to that point. And that's my whole point about this whole thing.
Oh, Nails took a holding call too.
Well, yeah. Who can forget Julio Jones? Great catch. And then, of course, the ball starts going backwards and all that. But at the end of the day, you should have never gotten to this point. See, because what Dan Quinn is Dan Quinn is the guy, right? This is why he got fired, because he's a bitch-made beta male, okay? A beta male deflects. See, what Dan Quinn did is that he set his team up to fail, right? He set them up to fail. And what happens is he wants to use the defensive coordinator as a scapegoat, right? Oh, it's his fault. No. Defensive coordinator, if you are in a game and you are against the most dynastic team of this era, and you're ahead 20-3, the only person to blame is you, okay? Just like, hey, Pete Carroll, you gotta hold that L for that horrible call, right? And one of the things, the reason why I say this is that, I've had guys who have said, like, Drex, sometimes you seem to be a little black pill or something like that. And I tell them, I said, you guys got to understand, man, when I read these news stories, these current events, I always tell you guys, I'm giving you a playbook. You understand? I'm giving you a playbook, a rule book on how to, navigate this shit. You can't do the opposite of what I'm saying and then wind up in a certain situation and then try to flip me. It's your fault, dude. If your head coach does not listen to the coordinator and he overrides him, it's the fault of the head coach, right? Like I said, we can go back to the art of war, right? When he says, if the instructions are clear, it is the fault of the soldier. So if the general gives a clear instruction and the soldier fucks up, that's the fault of the soldier. If you start giving some muddled instructions, that's the fault of the commander. You see what I'm saying? Is the commander giving the right thing, or are the soldiers fucking up, right? And you guys always see this when you get to in the workforce, right? How many times do you guys have to deal with this, right? Because there's a lack of accountability. You have people who are giving you half-assed answers, half-assed instructions, and then when something goes wrong after they set you up to fail, what do they say? They blame you, like Dan Quinn, right? Bitch made. See? And people I don't know why Drex says things like social genocide. This is what I'm talking about. You ostracize these people, okay? When you hear people out here defending pedos, when you guys hear people out here defending fuck shit, you hold them accountable, okay? And I want to go ahead and talk about a couple of YouTubers out there. And like I said, I'm not one of these guys that's going to be, YouTube beefs and all that kind of stuff. That's not my game. You guys know that. But there's some things that have happened this week because, as you know, this week is all about, current events and all that, right? Derek Jackson, the Prince of Simps, right? Or he's more of the Jack. He's the Jack. The Prince is Steve Harvey, and the king of all kings of Simps is, of course, Prince Harry, right? So Derek
that's
Jackson,
just confusing. The king is the prince.
Derek Jackson is the ultimate simp, right? So
Yeah.
so for those of you guys who don't understand who this guy is, look him up. Derek, you guys know how to spell Derek, Derick, right?
Okay,
Derek
that's not how I spell
Jackson.
Derek, but go ahead.
Well, he spells Jackson a little different, Jaxn, right?
I had
So
a dog named that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Same
Well,
spelling.
Derek Jackson is a supreme simp, right? And the memes are getting crazy out there with this fucking clown. So this is a black dude, big buff black dude, right? He got those soft beta eyes, sits in a car. All he does is bash men. How you ain't shit. Single moms are perfect. He has shirts that say like only a real man can handle a single mom. Stretch marks are beautiful. You're a queen. Blah blah. A man who cheats is he's the scum of the earth. He was running his fucking mouth for years in his car, making videos, right? Just talking about how men ain't shit. Yeah, slay queen. You're the best. You're perfect, right?
Let me
Would
guess,
you
he's a rapist?
believe? No. Take a guess what he got caught doing, Tim. If you just had to just guess. Someone who talks about how women are queens. What do you think he got
My
caught
guess
doing?
is he got caught punching out a woman like Rice style.
Oh, no. Unfortunately not. He was he was cheating, right? He was cheating.
Oh.
So remember, no, this is the reason why this is so important. If all you've done is bash men and bash cheaters and all this stuff and how only a real man does, and you just keep going on and on and on, right? Then you get caught. Do you know who so now he's trying to play damage control, right? Fuck Derek Jackson. Because see, Derek Jackson is no different than these prosperity pimps. And for those of you guys who don't know what a prosperity pimp is, that's a preacher, right? These modern day preachers. Women can do no wrong. Oh my God, holy is the Lord. Give me your money. Give me your money, and I'm gonna tell you what you want to hear, right? Remember, I always keep going on, you guys. Accountability. You see what I'm saying? Accountability. So when I look at the situation between guys like Derek Jackson, apparently Donovan Sharp is in hot water, right? Getting exposed because he's not living up to his standards, right? He's saying one thing and then living another way, allegedly. Like I said, allegedly. Now, maybe you guys can come out and give me some information, but I've been hearing some things. You see what I'm saying? And, when I look at these guys out here, man, Kevin Samuels, Donovan Sharp, Derek Jackson, all these dudes. Let's take a quick little moment to talk about game, right? All these guys who are talking about game. Oh man, you got to buy my book. This is about game. I got these courses, right? Game. Okay. I want to get you back on the plantation. Hey guys, I want you to get married. Game. Anthony Dream Johnson, 21 Studios. Okay. They charge a lot of desperate, broken, lonely, disillusioned men. Bullshit. Okay. PUAs, all these guys. Fuck Anthony Dream Johnson. Okay. Anybody who's out here telling you guys, give me thousands, yes, not hundreds, thousands of dollars to come to my conference for us to get you back on the plantation does not have your best interest at heart. You understand? When will people understand this? I don't know. But I keep seeing guys going and buying these courses, right? See, so when I look at these PUAs, whether it be alpha male strategies and all this stuff, let's face it, man, you can have a difference in opinion on marriage and all that, right? So don't think I'm kind of coming at people sideways. I've told you guys, I look at the situation with Nick and I. All I'm saying is practice what you preach. Nick practices what he preaches. He can still sit there and say, hey, look, I can still look and be a fair guy and say, yeah, man, there's some, being that he's a lawyer, he can look and say, hey, man, the laws are this. but I still believe in the sanctity of marriage. And I respect a man for saying that, as long as he's living it. Now, when we go about dudes like Bitch Made Q, who are out there trying to look for something else, now you see why I go at them so hard. You see what I'm saying? So when you guys have to understand is that I come at people, I'm still being fair. You understand? I'm being fair. Because when you start to realize that people aren't practicing what they preach, this is dangerous. You understand? And the reason why, I always talk about accountability is that I want all of you to hold me to what the fuck I say. You hold me accountable. So if I'm sitting here saying one thing, and then people say, hold up, Drex is out here doing X, Y, and Z. He turned into a super simp. He's really a simp on the low. I want to be exposed. If I were a super simp, then expose me. Yep. End my whole fucking career. You understand? End everything. Because I want a real cancel culture. It's more about hypocrisy. How can a priest get up here and talk holy as the Lord, but then they're in little boys' buttholes and they aren't canceled, right? No, we're not going to have that. So when I tell you guys things, here's the thing. I practice what I preach, man. You guys know what I said about The Last of Us Part 2, right? I said, I love the first game. I will not give them my money for that bullshit. And I never
Would you
bought
let
it.
Abby read to kids in a public library?
Hell no. Well, but Tim, we're at this point in the culture war where, like I said, people just, like I said, I question a lot of people, man, because I know that there's only a few real ones left. Okay, because don't be sitting there telling me how, oh, you don't support X, Y, and Z. Oh, this is bullshit. How did The Last of Us 2 should not have sold that many copies? Now, if you genuinely did not know anything about the leaks, I'll let that slide. If you knew absolutely nothing, I'll let it slide. If you were given a copy, right? If you were given a copy to play and you have like a Twitch channel, I'll let that slide, right? You're playing it for your fans. You're actually preventing other people from falling victim, right? I can let that slide. But what I'm not going to let slide is you running your fucking mouth, but then you still went out and paid Naughty Dog $60, right? When I told you guys after The Last Jedi I would not support Star Wars, I meant it. I never saw Rise of Skywalker. I have not seen one episode of The Mandalorian. When I told you guys I was done, I fucking meant it. I'm done. Now, if someone says, what if George Lucas got it back and did? I don't know. Because it's not Disney Star Wars. I don't know. But to my knowledge, the way I look at it, no. You guys know I'm a big Resident Evil fan, right? Big Resident Evil fan. I heard there was pegging in Resident Evil 8. If that can be 100% confirmed, right, I will not give Capcom my money. You see how this works? If you have pegging in a game, done.
Well, now, hang on. Wait a second. What if the pegging is done to the antagonist, and it's like something you can do to him to like torture him?
Well, I mean, even still, I wouldn't be okay with that because at
like
the end
you're
of the day,
a female protagonist, right? And you like beat down. I don't know the Resident Evil universe that well. I know that Albert Wesker is dead in the canon in the games.
Yeah, well, you're doing more like zombies.
But
and
yeah, could you imagine like well, would it be acceptable if Jill Valentine pegged Albert Wesker as punishment for what he did to her?
Nope. Because it still involves pegging. It still involves a man bent over taking a dick, whether real or plastic, in the ass.
Yeah, but he's taking the L, right?
You can
kill him. Albert Wesker is one of my favorite villains of all time. So maybe
I
that's
love
not
the
fair.
Character.
Yeah,
love the character.
And as much as I hated the Resident Evil movies, I love the scenes they did with Albert Wesker.
Well, he's just a great character. It's simple as that. And I mean, we'll look at it though, guys. For all you comic fans out there, I just did a show this past weekend with Raging Golden Eagle, that Umbrella guy. Shout out to Tug, shout out to Raging Golden Eagle, and shout out to Yellow Flash. Shout out to all those guys who did that who invited me onto that show. I love those guys. And something that hadn't yet come up was this new Gambit. Remy LeBeau, right? A character I grew up with in my childhood. The way they did Gambit. Oh yeah, and Young Ripper, yeah, because he joined into the chat. So shout out to him too. When I look at all this stuff, right? I'm gonna hold people accountable. Okay. If you buy this shit, you are the problem. Don't blame Marvel. Don't blame woke people. No. How can any of this stuff make any money? Someone's buying it, Tim. Someone's buying it. Someone's buying this.
They have lost. They've lost
No, no,
money
no.
on these.
I know they've lost lots of money, but Tim, here's the thing though. If I were to go on Google right now and look up, I'll do it right now, right here, live on the air. I'm going to look up what the Return of Skywalker grossed at the box office, right?
Well, here's the thing, Drex. We could even do that simpler. Like I announced during the show that we're almost up on a milestone in income for this show. Look, if you got on YouTube every night, not a single person subscribed or gave you $1, would you start thinking that maybe what you were saying, no one wanted to hear it?
Absolutely. You'd be like, "Hey, man, I better do something." But now, let me be fair though. Let's make sure we're being fair here. The things I say, I actually believe in. Like, you see what I'm saying? Because I just went at Derek Jackson for doing exactly that, right? I'm not going to sell some. I'm not a snake oil salesman. Okay, I have receipts to the shit I say and do. But I know
not
what you're
that
saying.
you would change what you say, but we'd be like, okay, well, I guess this isn't going to work out. We'll just close it up.
But if anything, Tim, do you know what you would do? You would engage with your fans. Say, and you guys know I do that all the time. I say, hey, man, you guys have topics you want me to talk about, show stuff, whether it be email stuff. Let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it live chat Wednesday. I ask these questions and shout out to all the content creators who always engage with their fans. Like, hey, what kind of content do you guys want me to do? Because at the end of the day, it's kind of like, if you think about, just like this format, and shout out to everybody who's been supporting us, especially monetarily. One of the things that you realize that you guys are basically the board of directors, right? Think about it, Tim, think about it. Your subscribers is basically your board of directors because
they're not my boss. Because look, if the audience was my boss, they'd be pegging me. All right.
But think about it though. If your audience says, "Hey man, did you hear?" But that's why your audience is usually the ones putting you up on game about whatever story, right? Like, "Hey, did you hear about this judge in Wisconsin? Hey, Nick, did you hear about this? Hey, talk about this. Hey, what do you think about?" The reason why they're doing that is because like they want your take on something, right? They want your take, your entertainment. That's what they're paying for. That's what they tune in for, and I appreciate that, right? I would never do the Derek Jackson route and just be a snake oil salesman for the money. I didn't start this channel for the money. I wasn't on Ricada Law for the money. Never took a dime. And like I said, if I were the biggest YouTuber tomorrow and someone invited me on their show and I went on the show and they're like, "Yo, man, Drex, we drove in a lot of money and stuff. What do you want your cut to be?" Fucking zero. It's your show. I want you to profit. That's just how I operate. And that's why I go hard at people like Zack Snyder doing the fuck shit. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And at the end of the day, man, I just looked it up, by the way. Let me tell you guys what this movie made. $1.074 billion, The Rise of Skywalker, episode 9.
Yeah, someone bought it.
So hold on. So anyone out there who's talking about Star Wars sucks, my question is, did you go to the movie theater to see it? It's a yes or no question. If you went to the movie theater, yeah, that's right.
My girlfriend, you see,
yeah. We're not allowing that.
Bullshit. Bullshit. You saw it. You paid the money. You're part of the problem.
You're part of the problem. If you paid money for remember what I said though, Tim. Whenever you hit the point where you said, "Ooh, I can't do this anymore," listen. If you admit that you made a mistake, I can respect that. I can respect that. You thought something was one thing, it turned out to be another, and you say, "Yo, man, this is some bullshit." I respect that. Okay. But what I don't respect is someone trying to once again, Tim, we got to be fair about people who virtue signal, right? You can't sit there and try to claim that you're anti-woke and you're anti this and that, and they ruined your childhood love because Star Wars means so much to you. And then I look around and there you are opening night dressed up like fucking R2D2. Wait a minute. No. I gotta stop you. No, we're not allowing this. Nope. I'm gonna need you to get closer to the wall, okay? Because you're part of the fucking problem. If no one's here's the thing, Tim, do you remember what I told you? I saw episode 7, right? And I went, "Ooh, this is basically episode 4. I don't know, man." But here's the thing. Episode 7 did enough where I said I will give them a chance to see where the story goes, right? I was being fair. I really liked Rogue One. I said, I'll be fair. I'll see where the story goes. Yeah. When I got redo of Healer dick slapped across the face in episode 8, The Last Jedi, I walked out and I said, never again. I'm done.
I did that with Halo 5 Guardians.
Yeah,
right?
you know what that feels like,
because I loved Halo 4. I really, really loved Halo 4. And I was like, all right, Guardians sucked, but hang on, because I loved 4. I want to see where they're going with this. I'm going to play Halo Infinite,
Yep.
and if I get dick slapped across the face, I'm done. No more Halo for me. I'm done.
Absolutely, and that's fair, right? But Tim, what if after all that, someone walks into your room, they see that you bought fucking the new Halo,
Halo
the new
9,
action,
Halo 10,
9,
Halo
yeah,
11.
so someone will look at you like, wait a minute, man. This was I always tell you guys, I'm consistent. When I told, do you know how many people have said to me, Tim, Drex, you don't watch The Mandalorian? No. When I said I was done, I actually mean, see, my word actually means something, man. When I said I'm done with Star Wars after episode 8, The Last Jedi, when I walked out of that theater, I said I'm fucking done. That doesn't mean I'm done, but I watch The Mandalorian. No. I want Star Wars to die completely. Gone. Because I hear a whole lot of complaints from fans, but I keep seeing, well, we went to Disney Star Wars and, we ended up going to Universal and checked out the park. No. If you went and gave money to check out the park at Universal, or not Universal, Disney, if you went to that park, you're part of the problem. If you went to go see episode 9,
Go to
you're
Six
part of the
Flags
problem.
instead.
That's right. Drex, I had to watch Soilo, right? I had to watch it. You're part of the problem. Okay. Now, when is it okay to watch any of these movies? When you don't give them money. I accept that. See, because you need to give them money. You see, because remember, Tim, it's all about the monetary. You see what I'm saying? You know how big businesses work, these mega corporations. It's about the bottom line. If I get on an airplane, remember what I told you that I said I was done with the DC movies, like, the DC superhero, Zack Snyder, because I'm not a fan of Zack Snyder at all, right? I thought he's only made 2 acceptable movies that I ever watched. Watchmen was okay at best, right? Remember what I told you, Tim? I said I will not give Justice League money, right? So when did I see the Justice League? When I was on a plane to Vegas. I was like, well, they're not getting my money. I can't go anywhere else. I'm stuck on a plane. Why not turn on this bullshit movie and just see if it's as bad as people say it is? See, that's called being true to your word. Don't sit there and try to run your mouth talking about some comics industry because they're doing my old favorite characters wrong. Dude, they're trying to Captain America gay, man. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, I bet you there's gonna be X amount of people who are still gonna go buy it. Fuck you, okay? Because Tim, I will not accept neutrality. You will pick a side, and yes, you have to show receipts. Okay, the time for just saying like virtue signaling, that's over. Okay, do you remember what I told you, Tim? I said right here, and I said, for the ladies out there, because some people think that I have this thing against women, which isn't true at all. I said I hold people accountable,
No,
and that includes myself.
you love women often,
right? Well, one of the things that bothered me though was this. When I say, look, ladies, if you want to prove, if you want to get in the better, I'm not gonna say the good graces, in the better graces of men, if you want if you want to start mending that bridge, right? You want to really, really get some entrails and make this thing work. First things first, total eradication of family court. Not partial, all of it. All of it. 100%. Anything less than that. If you say, well, Drex, I'll do this. I can stand behind this, but not that. Or, with the custody. No. All of it. All of it. Any woman out there who claims that Drex, the wall, right? Not all women are like that. No, Drex, we're not all. No. Have you voted and actively, remember, openly? So don't hide behind an avatar online. No. You are going to openly show your face, like I did, and continue to do, to fight the family court. Anything less than that is unacceptable, and I will hold you accountable. Okay? If any woman out there says I'm not like that, and okay, show me your Facebook. You got pictures of you with red cups in your hand. You got pictures of you talking about some BLM and all this other bullshit. Where's the talk about the family court? Where's the talk about women getting 93% of alimony payments? Where's the talk about all these boys and girls getting their lives ruined due to some bullshit because mom ruined them, right? Turning them against the dad. Where's all the talk about the fact that these guys are getting hoes in a multi-billion-dollar scam every year known as the fucking child support payments, right? Kids getting ripped from their fucking their parent that loves them. And I don't hear women say shit. They virtue signal. Show me you have skin in the game. Put your name on it. Put your vote on it. Okay. Get on social media and say, no, we're demanding these judges be removed. Anyone who's not for the total abolition no, you're canceled. Okay. I told you guys, I'm going to institute the new cancel culture. That's why I'm giving a shout out to my man right now. And I'm going to go on his channel and send him a message because I want to make sure we do a show together. Let me just give a quick shout out to my main man, Undead Chronic. Hey, Chronic, little man, what the fuck is up, man? You know I feel you, man. You know I like your content. He actually reached out to me when I was on Nick's show, and he talked about a cuck that he goes after often, which his name is Matt Shea, right? And Undead Chronic is he's talking about the war band, and I've always told him, I said, look, man, we don't always have to agree on everything. And like I said, you guys know I'm the whole the whole zombie Kush thing. That's his thing. Okay, that's his prerogative, not my thing. That's cool, but we can unite under the same banner to go after all these snake oil salesmen, bitch made simps, and everybody else who's out here lying, selling people dreams. Okay. LOM, that's lying to Migtown. You guys know him. He's the real deal. TFM, real deal. Hammerhand, real deal. RPM, you guys know from Dollhouse is the real deal. I like Coach Greg Adams is not trying to sell people pickup game books. I've heard, some people have kind of gone at him. I said, wait a minute. Yes, he was. I believe he was at that 21 convention. I believe they paid him. But here's the thing, though. What's the message he's preaching? If you're preaching about get on that plantation, I can't trust you. Nope, you're against us. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So when I look at everything that's happening, Tim, these are serious times, man. You know what I'm saying? When I look on my phone and things pop up on my feed, and I say, oh wait, what is this? I look closer, right? I look closely at the news and see what's going on all around the world. And there are things out there, guys, that are very serious. People just kind of walk around going, well, it's not that big of a deal. There's a story. There's a story, Tim, that I found to be real funny, right? It's I'm not even going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to read the headline and just like a little thing. It says Italian birth rate sinks further amid pandemic, right? And it says, even prior to the pandemic, birth rates in Italy were among Europe's lowest. Now, Italians are having even fewer children. Why is that? Bernd Riegert reports from Bergamo, right? The fact that you have people say, we don't know what it is. You know what? Nope. I'm going to need you closer to the wall. You see? You see how simple that is? So, Tim, do you see how simple it is you have to hold people accountable? Okay. The reason why Derek Jackson is getting roasted is because he's being held accountable, right? He went around bashing men, talking all this bullshit. You don't understand. You can't deal with a queen. He even had a video, Tim. It was like 15 reasons or 7 reasons, whatever. How many reasons why only a real man can date a single mother, right? These are the kind of videos, dude. This dude he is the ultimate simp, just like Steve Harvey, right? Men need to be chivalrous. Men need to step up. Fuck you, okay? War band. You understand? This is the reason why I respond to the news like this, man. And I look at someone, Joe, shout out to Joe, who's in our chat. He sent an article, Tim, about a girl, and it was a very tragic story, man, out of the UK, and she ended up getting whacked, bro. She got whacked, and when you see the reason how it was actually her stalker, right? So she had a stalker.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Did you read that story?
Yeah, I read that story.
Oh, bro.
But don't worry, you can just report it to the police.
Yes. Dude, seriously, like when I see certain things, Tim, like I said, I really do feel, man. Like I said, for all those people, Drex hates this and he's all X, Y, and Z or whatever. I took my time and it ain't like that, man. And it was from the Mirror. It said a teenager was fined. Yes, a teenager. This is a girl, right? Pretty young girl. Teenager was fined for reporting stalker to police 5 times before he Minecrafted her, right? Shauna Grice. This girl was 19, Tim. Can you guys believe that? Shauna Grice, a 19-year-old receptionist from Brighton. I actually know someone from Brighton. That's South England. Had begged Sussex police to take action against Michael Lane 5 times over a period of 6 months in 2016 before he slit her throat. See, accountability. See,
this is why every woman should concealed carry.
Absolutely. Look,
I'm
man.
a huge
You get.
proponent of concealed carry. Look,
Yep.
if
Protect yourself.
every single person was packing heat, you'd have a lot less fuck shit going on.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
because people
Karens
know.
who are calling the cops on black men who are just bird watching with their dog in a New York park, she'd probably draw a gun on them, and then she'd be in jail for the rest of her life.
Correct.
Self-correcting problem.
Absolutely. I'm not playing
Right?
games with these people, man. I don't want to see. I do not want to see young girls or young boys out here losing their lives over some fuck shit. Okay. The fact that a young girl, 19, you guys, think about it. For all you guys out there, like I said, all you guys and gals, I don't know what age you are, but like if you're over the age of 19, especially if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, even, do you remember what you were doing at 19? You were just kind of like, trying to figure out life. You had just probably graduated high school or whatever. Maybe you're at college or university. Maybe you went to the trades, whatever it is you were doing. You were 19 though, right? You're fresh. You can't even legally drink in America and your
Yeah, that's
life was
bullshit.
ended. Dude, Tim, 19.
Also,
I mean,
what kind of a guy? What kind of a
yeah,
guy was he? He was a supreme.
bitch made simp, beta man. He's a beta simp. Yeah, he's a beta simp. Yep. Her pleas were ignored despite him breaking into her home.
Wait, what kind of a stalker was he too? Was he like an ex that was stalking her, or some guy who had an obsession? Like what?
Well, here's what the story says when it talks about her pleas, right? Despite him, hear this, breaking into her home, and he went on to slit her throat before trying to burn her body in August 2016. In March that year, she was fined. It looks like 90 euros by Sussex police for wasting their time because she did not tell officers they had been in a relationship after she reported Lane for pulling her hair and grabbing her phone. Right? I
Okay,
don't know if she should have been fined.
okay.
Oh, but here's the thing. I gotta be fair though. If they did fine her, right? If they did, that's one thing. But let's move on with the story because remember, if I'm saying, hey, you don't seem like you're really cooperating, you're not telling us all the information. Okay, a fine is a fine, right? But
Yep.
it's how you remember what I said. You can correct your mistake. Okay. And it says Shauna's heartbreaking death featured in Sky Crime documentary Murder in Slow Motion over the weekend. The program explores the deaths of young women. Why is it always young women, though? But, it's fair. The program explores the deaths of young women who were killed by an ex partner who stalked them. When Lane first broke into Shauna's home, he was given a police caution, right? 6 weeks later, he broke into her home again, walked into her bedroom, and murdered her after learning she was in a new relationship. See, beta simp, right?
Yep. If it's an ex, it's always someone who can't let go.
They can't let go, right? If I can't have her, no one can. That's beta. Bitch made. Because, Prince Harry, the
Yeah.
king of all
That's
simps.
that is the first bitch. That is the biggest bitch bait thing you can do. The second biggest
Absolutely.
is not letting go of an ex.
Yeah, like, dude, here's the thing. Not letting go is one thing, but you have to go in Minecrafter though, bro. And it says here in March 2017, Lane, then 27, was jailed for life with a minimum term of 25 years. Shauna's murder, the thing is a typo.
Drex, have you
Um,
seen text messages like from any of the ladies that you bring in here? Have you seen text messages where they just can't let go? And they're like, I want you back, baby. I miss you so much. Do you know how pussy that text sounds?
yeah, well, here's the thing though. And I mean, it dries women right up. And one of the things though is that, like I said, I don't know the whole story behind this girl. Like, how did she meet him, how they got together, and all that stuff. But here's the thing: here's the thing, when a guy turns out to be like this, usually, let's be fair, Tim, they exhibited signs of some kind of crazy that made the women say, "Oh, I'm out," right?
Yeah,
Because like
like he
here's the thing.
pulled her, like he was pulling her hair and shit.
Yeah, yeah. Like real men don't engage in this kind of fuckery. You see what I'm saying? They just don't. Plain and simple. So, I even had to post this guy's picture because when you guys look up this story, man, this dude is bitch made. And here's the thing: who's producing these guys? You guys know the answer to that. You guys know the answer. See,
Oh, let me single
but
mom.
no one wants to talk about that, right? And I said, I'm not even going to read the rest of the story. You just need to take one look at that guy, and you go, "Yeah, I know. Yep." And the thing is that we just get to this thing where people have to choose, right? People choose when to care And and that's a systemic problem, right? We choose when something is matters, right? Like, well, this doesn't matter. Someone, he's just saying this or he did that. Dude, if first of all, Tim, if an ex-lover is breaking into your house, that is cause for like extreme concern if it happens once, right? If it happens once, the police need to shut that shit down. Everyone in the police force who was involved in this, who just kind of shrugged their shoulders, right? Tim, do you hear this a lot? You hear this a lot with child abuse cases, right?
Yeah.
Like I stand with Sophie, right? When people just kind of shrug their shoulders or drag their feet when there's a serious issue of someone's welfare, right? Serious issues. Seriously, breaking into someone's house is different.
Look, I will never support additional action from CPS. That is the most fucked up organization in all of America.
Oh, they're
right?
horrible, man.
The Federal Reserve. I would rather the Federal Reserve or the Family Court over CPS. All right.
Yeah.
That's the thing. When you say I wish CPS was involved, no. Or well, whatever Britain's equivalent of CPS is. No. Because CPS only makes things worse.
They make everything worse, man.
Everything worse. You know what would have easily solved this? Is if Britain wasn't bitch made collectively. That guy shows up in her house one time, she pulls out a 44 Magnum from her drawer and blows him away.
You can't have it. You can't have these types of people around. And that's the thing, man. And and one of the things that like I said, as I close out the show, I look at some of these news articles I've talked about tonight, and I like to use news articles because I think they're a measuring stick, right? They're like a heat check, right? And it's kind of a measuring stick for all of us, right? And like this is the reason why I want to just really point this out before we close out the show, man. We have to start expecting more from ourselves and the people around us, right? We have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to hold the people around us accountable. Like, Tim, we've talked about this with our female guests, right? The ladies want better men. The men who are following us, they want better women, right? Well, we have to do what's necessary to make better ladies, and they have to do what's necessary to create better men, right? And we know how that happens, right? Fathers have to do certain things for their daughters, right? And teach them things to be the right way. The ladies have to, tell their boys to be a certain way. And obviously, I don't ever expect women to raise boys into men. That's obviously a father's job, right? But
Yeah.
what they can't do is try to break up the family and then be shocked when years later, how come the only kind of men are just bitch-made beta males who are nice guys and male feminists? Oh, I know how that happened. You see what I'm saying? That we can't have cognitive dissonance, right? And here's the thing, I got to call myself to task, right? Is that one thing that I will say to Tim is that I have never dealt with a virgin in that regard. And that's the reason why is that if a girl comes to me, she says she's a virgin, I will tell her, no, you do not go down the thought path because that would make me a hypocrite, right? Like I can't walk around saying, bitches ain't shit. There's bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks, and all these girls are thoughts. I can't say that and then smut out a virgin. You see what I'm saying? That would make me a fucking scumbag, right? But if a girl comes and she's like, well, hey, I've already been promiscuous. Well, hey, that's on you. You're the gatekeeper of sex as a woman, so that's on you. But if you are a virgin, yes, I will treat you very differently, right? Because it'll be much more of a guidance of, hey, look, don't go out there doing X, Y, and Z. Don't be out there giving your body away. Save yourself for marriage. Pick the right man. Don't be out here just getting with some thug, right? A deadbeat. Get the right man. Because I basically have to take the role of the father because, Tim, a lot of these girls are lost, man. With
Yeah.
the daddy issues.
Be more Miss Leximus or Lady Rackets and less Stormy Daniels.
Yeah. Or Cardi B or Megan the Stallion. Like if that's where you're getting, if ladies are getting their ideas, listen, stop all this Bust It challenge. There's a Bugs Bunny challenge now. Like, what are we doing? Right. And for the guys
Wait.
Oh,
The
you
Bugs
didn't know about
Bunny
that?
challenge.
Yeah.
This is
After
one
the
thing I don't
show,
know about.
yeah.
Sounds like a few people in the chat are like, what the fuck? I can just imagine. I can imagine. Never, you know what? I can imagine.
For all you guys out there, I'm pretty sure you can literally just go on YouTube and just type in Bugs Bunny challenge and see a bunch
I'm
of
not
girls
putting that
doing
in
the
my search
Bugs
history.
Bunny challenge. Here's the thing: it's not like it's really explicit. It's less explicit than the silhouette challenge, right? And this is all that's going on, man. This thottery. Like I said, this is Sodom and Gomorrah, man. These are the last days. It is what it is, you know. And
Uh,
I just think that we have to get to a point where we're really pushing for a better society. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we have to have a new cancel culture, right? There can't be this just fuck shit going on. And the news gives us a reality check on how bad the world is. If you were to ask people from yesteryear about mass shootings in schools and grocery stores and churches, they would say that never happened. Kids weren't like that. Yes, there was. Listen, there's always been murders. There's always been pedos. There's always been a lot of stuff, right? It's the tone has changed now. And back then, I will say this though, Tim, they actually held you accountable, right? Like you didn't get a pass by saying, "Well, it's society's fault that you're a monster." No, 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 it's your fault. They held you accountable. Now society is just producing more of these kinds of people who are doing all this evil. And we need to do a better job about that. And that's all I got for you guys, man. Is just to go through the news and give you guys my takes on some things. It was a really crazy week this past week, man. I hope everyone actually survived
oof. Yeah. Thank you for not killing yourself or other people, as Dick Masterson says.
it.
Oh man, I love the Dick Show. I think I quote him all the goddamn time. I just walk around the house quoting Dick Masterson lines. I think he really is my hero. You know what? I would say Dick Masterson's kind of the person who turned me over into the Red Pill arena. Like, because before that, I knew about Milo Yiannopoulos. I thought Ben Shapiro was hot shit, right? I was lost back then. But then Dick Master kind of brought me around, and it's like, all right, this is the path that you want to be on. And then I start watching you on Nick's channel, and, you know, it just goes from there, and it's like, I've been really introduced to this whole Migtown world very recently. But then you start to realize, too, like, man, a lot of people are Migtown, they don't even know it.
They are. Well, do you know what's funny is there was a Donovan Sharp did a panel. He calls out the six. And I have certain criticism of Donovan Sharp, but like there are certain things he does really well. Like I said, I'm subscribed to his channel. Like there's a lot of stuff that he has that's good content. And on this particular episode, he had Minister Jap, he had Coach Greg Adams, he had Joker Better Bachelor, who has a great channel. And one of the things that was telling was they're kind of talking about it. And I think I can't remember if it was Joker or it might have been Myron Gaines, who's from Fresh and Fit, right? And he was like, a lot of guys are MGTOW, don't actually know it. And that goes to
Yeah.
what you were saying, Tim. Where it ends up
But
happening is this: you'll be living your life, right? And like guys of all ethnic groups all across the world are starting to come to the same realization, right? They may not know what it is. So think about it. Guys look for answers. Guys don't sit there doing busset challenges or silhouette challenges. Guys start looking for answers. As they start thinking, men are natural explorers, right?
yeah,
Remember, men seek wisdom. Women seek, knowledge from them. Because here's the thing about women. Women as a collective will seek knowledge if that's what society tells them to seek. And by knowledge, I just mean getting an education, right? That doesn't mean you're intelligent. It just means you're knowledgeable about something. Oh my God, I can recite all these books. Okay, but are you wise? Can you get your way? Can you think your way out of a problem? The answer typically is fuck no, right? So my thing is this. So Tim, what started happening is more and more guys all across the world start seeing this, this new age thoughterry, this new age, like basically female nature getting put on full display, right? And let's thank social media for that, right? It exposed it. Because for years, a lot of guys were like, no, it can't be like that. Because some guys were kind of purple pill. Like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, you can't be a broke ass and get a woman. They just didn't understand women's dual dating, dual mating strategy, blah, blah, blah. The way they were playing guys, they got multiple guys on their phones, blah, blah, blah. So what ended up happening though, Tim? Guys went through certain stuff. And then all of a sudden, it hits them. They're like, something's really wrong with the world and wrong with society. And they start looking for answers, right? They can't find too many books. They don't really find too many movies, right? They got guys looking like buffoons and they're inept. And they're like, I know something's off. I just don't know where to look. And they stumble upon it, right? And then they go, wait a minute. Whether it be TFM, whether it be Undead Chronic, whether it be Better Bachelor, Coach Grant, they go, this is me. I don't believe in cohabitation and X, Y, and Z because of all these reasons. And I just thought I was all
yeah.
alone. And
Oh
it
man,
hits them, right?
in eighth grade, I was like, these hoes ain't shit. Because
They
they were
ain't
getting ran
shit.
through in the eighth grade. And I was like, God, who thinks that's attractive?
But then what were they doing? Pretending to be virtuous, right? They have to always
Oh
sell
no, they
their
weren't. They weren't
virtues.
even pretending.
Oh, were they not? Okay.
In the late 90s, that was the height of the sexual revolution. They were not even pretending to be virtuous. They're
Yeah,
like, I'm a whore
for
and I love
me,
it.
yeah, so here's what happened. For me, women were still trying to basically, like I said, they would have to try to do shit in the shadows, right? Like they were not open about their whole tendencies, right?
Oh, no, 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 no. Not my experience, Drex. In my experience, they were open with their fucking abortions.
Oh goddamn.
And teen pregnancies. I'm not talking about like college or after I got out of high school. I'm talking in high school when I was, when I was in my teens and the girls in my class were bragging about their abortions.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Rollo Tomasi said that abortion is the ultimate form, the ultimate expression of female hypergamy. Right. That's why notice who women abort. There's certain kids they will not abort. Right. If a woman gets knocked up by Tyrone Chad, she doesn't abort that baby. If a woman gets knocked up by an
The
NBA
football
player, she
jock.
doesn't abort
Yeah.
that player. She doesn't abort that baby. Right. But
Yeah.
there are certain dudes she will abort. You see what I'm saying?
Like her beta
And
simp boyfriend.
yeah, she's like, oh God, ugh, ugh. Like I would
Yeah, I don't want
appreciate the
them.
money, but not him. I just don't want. I don't want to have to bring into the world the offspring of a beta simp.
Because, and I noticed this early, women do not respect the beta.
Not at all.
Yeah, they're
They use them.
dating and they're banging and they're not, but they don't respect them.
Well, not to be fair. Remember what I've always said. The beta simp and the turbo thought are the same person, right? They're on opposite ends of the same spectrum, right? So for men, so you ask somebody, okay, so Drex, give me an example. Okay, well, a prostitute for a man is the equivalent for a woman to be it's analogous to say a true beta simp cuck mangina, right? Someone who just worships and does anything for him. They're kind of like, this person is
Like
useless.
someone who lets himself be used as a
Yeah,
slave,
yeah,
like a
yeah.
sex slave, right?
Well, remember though, the women don't like that guy, right? They don't respect him, they don't like him, they don't love him, but they'll use him. You see what I'm saying? A guy does not love the prostitute. He doesn't love the turbo thought. He doesn't respect her, but he'll use it. Like, I'll still use it to get my dick sucked, right? I'll get my dick wet. They're the same person.
Like how Flair was using our redo of healer guy, Chiaro.
Yeah, right?
However you say his fucking name, right?
Take
Like,
the essence. But that's where we're at though. Like that's how things are working. And like I said, when you look at the news stories out there, you see the craziness. And when you hear the Joe Bidens of the world talking about some executive order because guns, we got to talk about gun control. And no one, like, it's like every
yeah,
time you try to put accountability on the culture that's creating these people, nobody wants to talk because everyone knows what's causing it.
I'll listen to gun control advice from Joe Biden when he stops sniffing girls.
Right? And it is always some creepy pedo that's always trying to talk about how people are supposed to live their life. I don't want to hear shit from Joe Biden. Not a single word.
Yeah.
I don't even know why he's even
Um,
allowed to speak for any reason. Like
I mean, because the president of the United States is nothing more than a clown show.
it is. It's a shit show.
Drex, is the president of the United States consequential in your daily life?
Nope.
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 I ask everyone in the chat and everyone listening on YouTube or on Spotify or everywhere else you can find us. Is the president of the United States consequential in your daily life? No. The president is even less consequential in my daily life because I don't even live in that country.
Yep.
Right? So this is why they let him speak. This is why this is why the Patriots, the lolly lule lo, let Trump win the election. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's fun. It's a sideshow. It's an entertainment skit. That's why
Yeah.
George Bush was allowed to be president. Man, do you remember the Bushisms back in the day? We
Yep.
used to laugh and make fun of them.
Well, the Bush administration was a shit show, man.
It was. But so was
You
every
know.
other administration.
But and I was gonna say,
Wasn't Bill Clinton's sideshow entertaining as well?
of course, but that's all. It's just a distraction. What do you think sports are? Distraction.
Yeah.
It's a
So
distraction while they're doing what they really want to do.
the reason
And
Joe Biden's allowed to talk at all is because he entertains us. And they're just
yeah,
going to get weirder and weirder. Look, I look forward to the presidential election being Donald Trump versus Oprah Winfrey. I want that election so badly.
I mean, I doubt we'll ever get it just because of the ages, right? The ages of both. I just think that's why you won't see it. But like, the reason why I want to talk about news and current events is because if you think about Tim, it's always a heat check, right? Like think about it.
Yep.
Do you remember that
Always.
guy who got he was in Canada, right? Who got thrown in jail, who was held in contempt for gendering his daughter. He was calling her she and her and all that in daughter pronouns, right?
Yeah.
Adjectives, pronouns. So because of that, he was thrown in jail. That's a heat check. That's a reality check for us. So for all these people out there going, it's not really like that, Drex. Okay. What about Desmond is amazing? So here's what it
You
is.
got to realize though that British Columbia is the California of Canada, right?
Oh yeah, I know.
That is the most extreme. So you're right. It's a check because
It's a
those
heat
of
check.
us over in Alberta are like, oh God, if that happens here, we
But
are
it's
burning
spreading.
that courthouse down.
But let's face it though, Tim. The way things have been going, have you seen any way of this is slowing down? Be honest. Do you see any of it where you're saying, "Oh no, Drex, there's about to be this whole huge push and things"? No, you haven't. So you're saying schools are not 100% left, right? You see what I'm
Honestly,
saying?
the push for Alberta separation is the only movement I see trying to actively change, our fate, basically.
Well, because here's the
To
thing,
steal a line from Braveheart.
it's the road to perdition is what we're facing, right? Like so, basically, what you're starting to realize is that Cat Williams talked about this years ago, right? When he said, it's a war going on between real ninjas and bitch ninjas, right? So what's starting to happen is that here's the thing. There are more and more people who are starting to finally figure out, wait a minute, we've been played. Racism was a scam, sexism was a scam, right? They started to realize maybe, just maybe, I can have an ally who doesn't look like me. It's about ideology. It's not about this person's skin color, this and that. No. It's about more than that. Do you remember what apocalypse actually means? Right? Everyone thinks apocalypse means like the end. It's the end. No, it's not the end. It's the great awakening. You see what I'm saying? That's the actual meaning of apocalypse, right? Is that all is revealed. That doesn't like so when the curtain finally gets pulled and people realize they've been played by the deep state this whole time. Oh shit. The reason why the deep state wants pushes feminism so hard, that's just one of their many tools, just like the Federal Reserve, central banking. Where are all these things? They're designed to break down the family. Because when you break down the family, what happens next? You indoctrinate the children to turn against their own parents and become completely subservient and codependent upon the state. That is the end goal. It's about control. Okay. So what's starting to happen, Tim, is that more and more people are starting to figure this shit out. Man, maybe Drex isn't crazy. Maybe Nick Rekieta isn't crazy. Maybe this guy TFM isn't crazy. Just maybe, with all I'm seeing in the news, in the media, in music, in schools, at work, maybe there's some truth to what these guys are saying. This isn't a scam. That we actually are getting played by the powers that be, right? But I don't know. It's up to you guys, man. If you guys want to figure it out and want to actually create solutions, I'm here. But until then, we'll just keep watching the clown show, right? Clown world keep getting worse and worse because everyone wants to sit there and just keep. Well, Tim, you see it. Everyone just kind of sits there, just nope, I can't say this. I don't understand how people are so afraid all the time. How do you spend your entire life afraid? I'm afraid to say this. I'm afraid to. It's just like there just comes a point where you have to do heat checks. You have to do reality checks, and and I truly believe that like at some point, more and more guys and gals need to start really looking around and going like this: what can I do to make myself better? And like even just the immediate, even if you can say, let me just affect two people around me, right? Because I mean, let's face it though, Tim. Every time a woman kicks the man out of the house and pushes thug and thought culture to conditions a boy to be a fucking bitch made simp, conditions the girl to be a fucking hypergamous money hungry whore. Every time that happens, she's just affected two lives, right, or more. You see what I'm saying? And then they create. It's a cancer, right? It's like if you guys are you guys are into mathematics, exponential growth, right? Yeah, you can say it's like having an agent zero. Like, yeah, well now it's spread. Now here's the thing: when's the last time you guys have met a girl who's been college educated who wasn't a total rabid feminist? That's a serious question, though, Tim. Think about it. Tim, you've been on this earth
Hey,
long
I'm
enough.
dating one right now.
But hold on. Is that the exception or the rule?
That is absolutely the exception.
The
That's why
exception,
I'm
right?
Look, Drex, I've gone years without having like a proper relationship because there's no one out there there's no good material out there.
Absolutely, dude.
I found this one. It was
telling?
like a fucking unicorn. I was like, oh hell.
Here's the thing. If it works for you, then it works for you. Just like I said with Nick, I said, look, man, if it really works for you, and that's what you guys are going for, and you guys are going to the traditional route, good for you. But I'm just saying,
I'm not blind.
When you
I'm
look
not
around,
blind.
Tim,
If she's not my Lady Rackets, I will show her the door.
yeah. And there's the thing though. That's how few there are. So when people say Drex is crazy, he's just saying all this crazy stuff. I go, okay, then go out there in the world right now and show.
Yeah, go find one right now.
Go find one. Look, if it's that easy,
I live in a city of 1.5 million people, and she's the only one I found.
One out of 1.5 million. Tim, what is that telling you? When people say, Nick, you're so lucky, I bet you at some point Nick had to start realizing, am I? He probably was thinking, am I? Not because that's no knock against Lady Rackets. What I think is, because his experience was very limited, he just happened to get lucky, right? But once you start to hear from other guys, Nick goes, holy shit, I really am looking. That's when it really sets in. When you keep hearing from, you're like, wait a minute, I'm hearing this from black guys, white guys, Latino guys, Asian guys, and they're coming from all over the world telling me the same. I keep hearing the same message. Man, you got lucky. Well, damn, how lucky did I get? Because and then remember what Ty Beers said, right? When he has people coming in for asking for divorces in his office. It starts to affect you. You start looking around like, damn, man, is it really? And remember, when I do the show with Ty, and he said it himself, he said, Drex, the first time I ever heard you, I was like, he said himself, he goes, it can't be that bad, is it? Because he's a long-time married man, right?
Yep.
His reality is not the same as mine, where I go, Ty, I'm out here in the field. I'm feet to the fucking pavement. I can tell you the shit I'm saying is over. Like I said, remember who I cater my audience to. The burbs and the cities, right? If you live in the cities and stuff, I'm not talking about rural America or rural wherever you live. I'm not talking about rural areas. I'm talking about people who live in the cities or the suburbs. This is the truth for the overwhelming majority of people who live in those environments. They look around, they go, this is a fucking shit show. Feminism has wreaked havoc on things. You got guys out here that are simping, destroying everything along with it, just enabling the worst of the worst. And it's like, man, is there any way out? Are there answers? And I'm sitting there going, it's time to start creating answers, man. Like I said, you know me, Tim. I'm not one of these black pill guys who just sits there going, this is how bad it is. Look how it's only getting worse. You know me. I've been talking about solutions since I was on Nick's show. At what point do people just say enough? And Tim, I'm truly believing this, man.
Oh, man.
I just think that people are so bitch made that they're too scared to say enough. You should, because there's only so long you can pretend that nothing's wrong.
Yeah. Have I told you the story of how I got red pilled? Because like I said,
how's that?
A lot of us are Migtown and don't know it, right? I didn't discover Migtown until very recently. But then you start looking back and you're like, damn, I was doing this stuff in like elementary school. I think it was either second or third grade. And I started, because you're told as a boy, hold the door open for girls.
Yep.
Right? Girls go first.
Sim conditioning. Yep.
Right?
Pedestalizer.
And I said, why? I was 7 years old at the time. All kids do that, right? All 7-year-olds do that. Why? Well, why? What's that? Right?
Yeah, just questioning it. Just questioning the status quo.
And no one would ever give me an answer. They'd just say, don't question it. Oh, well.
Yep.
As soon as you tell me not to do something, guess what I'm about to do?
That's
whatever
right.
you told me not to do. So I started questioning it. And then I started actually openly expressing, like, man, girls get a lot of advantages, don't they? Not quite that language, because the vocabulary of a 7-year-old.
Yep.
But
you start going like, they sure got it easy, or
yeah,
they don't
got
have to
it
do
pretty
this,
easy.
but I do.
And I'd get disciplined so hard over it. And it was like, wait a second, I know this. I've done the walk across the room and put your hand in a cookie jar when you were specifically told not to do, because I wanted. What you gonna do about it, Mom? What you gonna do about it? Are you gonna hit me, Mom? I'll call CPS. I wasn't quite like that, but I would test people, right? It's like, you say don't do it, but what happens if I do? Nothing? Well, then why'd you tell me not to do it?
That's right. Well, look at the whole the mass and all that stuff. Well, there's a reason. This is all just to condition you, because
Look,
eventually,
I wear a mask. I'll admit it. I wear a mask because I don't want to catch $1,000 tickets. All right. Some people can afford $1,000 ticket. I cannot.
well, here's the thing though. I would tell anybody this: don't let your ego get in the way of your own survival, right? You have to be able to balance these things. Like if someone
Yeah.
says, "My job makes me wear a stupid mask at work," dude, just wear
Wear
the
the
mask,
fucking
man.
mask. It's better
Because
than not getting income.
yeah, because don't be the guy going, "Well, I ain't gonna fucking do it." And then you're sitting there, you go like this. How much does your job pay you? Man, I was making 150,000 a year, and what are you doing
Yeah,
now?
now you're
Well,
on
I
welfare
didn't want
and
to wear
you're
a
like,
mask. Yeah, you're like, well, dude, that wasn't very smart then, obviously. Like, I mean, you got
yeah.
to still be smart, but it's like you have to understand the bigger forces at play, and you have to move accordingly. Go into survival mode because that's where we're at now.
The second they lift the mandatory mandate, I am going to make a big deal of not wearing a mask. And people are going to be like, you should be wearing a mask. And I'm like, I specifically don't want to wear a mask because I was forced to wear one.
Yep. But there's gonna be a bunch of people out there still doing
I
it.
will never wear a mask again.
Listen, there are people out there who in your heart, Tim, are gonna be out there still. You can catch. And here's the thing: there's gonna be a COVID 20, a COVID 29, COVID 438, right? Forever.
I hope the COVID 69 really fucks us. Anyways, man, we've been going a long time here. I might have to trim this one.
Oh yeah, don't worry. Yeah. I mean, we got our main course.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I
we'll
want
trim.
one. I want to fit one email in. Then I'll
Oh
squeeze it
yeah,
in.
go ahead.
Just squeeze it in. It's a very tight opening, and I want to squeeze this one in. So, we're just gonna call this person TC. TC emails in and says, Drex, you and I seem to have similar backgrounds, except I'm about a decade younger. He says he was into lifestyle until about 3 years ago and he nearly got caught up in it. Based on what he hears, he thinks it's similar to what happened to King of Antigua.
Yep.
After that, a dismissed salty sub tried to straight up blackmail him, since his job is just a little bit of a higher profile. He sorted it out, but he said he couldn't charge it back to the game. He was shook.
Yep.
All right. Long story short, he really went his own way. He only deals with sex workers, right? But he's starting to miss having that real relationship. So his question is, how does a dude do what it is you do and not get caught up in everything? It seems like it's inevitable that you're just going to get caught one day, right? Should he go back into the lifestyle or should he just stick with the strippers, porn stars, and escorts?
Okay, everyone's different, but here's my general take on this. You have to do what's in your best interest. That you have to maximize your pleasure and minimize your pain, right? So, like I said, okay, do you remember when I was on with Peacock and the question came up of who's the easiest chick to smash, right? And we both said married chicks, right?
Yep.
Now, because that's true, remember, if based on what you asked me, I'm going to give you a different answer. So like I said, did I say that's the most morally right or anything? No. Did I say that it's the safest? No. I just said what is the easiest, right? So you have to weigh. Remember, you have to weigh your pros and cons with anything that involves women, right? Okay, watch this. Hey Tim, if I get a sex worker, right? If I go pick up a sex worker, what are the pros and what are the cons, right? There's pros and cons to every. Like I said, you don't deal with this when you deal with men. Like dudes don't. Remember, we don't look for dudes for sex. Like what happens if you're heterosexual? So what ends up happening is you don't have that many, possible bad outcomes when you deal with dudes for the most part, right? But if you deal with a sex worker, okay, because of their lifestyle, you're at a higher risk for STDs. You're at a higher risk of X, Y, and Z, right? Okay,
But
well, if you're married,
the pro is that they understand it's a transaction. There's no
purely
bullshit.
transactional.
So,
Yeah,
I mean,
well, for him,
would you say you've been lucky in the lifestyle that Cynthia aside, you've been relatively unscathed by the lifestyle, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing. Overall, if you ask me overall, what is my experience in lifestyle overall? I would say, like I said, it's pretty good for me. Remember what I've always said though, Tim? I'm just built differently. I'm built differently.
Yeah.
You don't hear me sitting there going, "Oh, I just wish I had that one girl." Though you've never heard me say that. No one's ever heard me say that. Because and reason why is because from an early fucking age, I had access to all these women, and because of that, it changed how I viewed women. It, I'm telling you, man, the 80-20 when we, you always, you hear these red pill channels talk about Chad and Tyrone, right? And
Yeah.
why Tyrone acts the way he does. The reason Chad and Tyrone act this way is because when you have an abundance mindset, you don't I don't have one itis, right? Tim, Miss San Diego flipped on me, right? I didn't lose sleep over it. I haven't sent her a message. I don't care. It doesn't mean anything to me. Why, Drex?
Oh,
I
she's
thought she was
still
your
in this
friend.
server? I think she is.
Maybe. I don't give a fuck. Well, the thing is
It'd
this.
be funny.
Here's the thing. When you have an abundance mindset, Tim, I have chicks everywhere waiting to get into something, right? Because of that, it changes how I interact. No, no, let's be fair. This is no different than women. The reason why you hear guys complain about they can't have a real relationship anymore is that she has so many options. That's why. She has an abundance. She can go on social media right now and replace you, right?
Oh yeah.
She can go in her DMs right now. This is for any dude and get your ass replaced. So because of that, she has an abundance mindset. Now remember, with
Okay,
women,
and
that's
this
fleeting.
is why long distance, Drex. I think it's not in the email, but you really need to talk about long distance relationships, right? Some of these
Definitely.
dudes who are like, "Oh, I text this girl, but she's out in college. We text her every night, and yeah, I'm the only one she's talking to." Bullshit. Drex, you got to talk about
Yeah,
these
about
long
that.
distance relationships, man.
Yeah, that whole I'm the only one, or she told me, or she FaceTimes me. Do you know what's crazy though, Tim?
She
We did
probably is
the
flicking her bean to someone else while she's FaceTiming you.
what did we talk, dude? I have said it right here, man. We have smashed chicks while they're talking to their significant other, whether that's their husband or whatever.
Oh,
They
Thought
will
on the
step up,
Cross. That's my favorite
thought
story
on the
from
cross,
Thoughtness.
dude. You
Thought on the
can't
Cross.
make this shit up. You can't. And so when people and this is what bothers me, Tim. The one thing I'll always go back to, and I'll sound like a broken record to the day I die. So long as we have smartphones, I will keep saying this. Anyone who challenges me and my ideology, anyone who challenges Drexology, walk up to whatever girl you're dealing with right now, and say, "Give me your phone. Let me see your phone." Watch her reaction. She's hiding something. What is she that she's hiding? Tim, you know me. I've told you. I have no lock on my phone. There's no
The
lock at all.
ex-boyfriends, the
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's
coworkers.
sending DMs. She got simps in her. Dude, she's up to all kinds of shit. You see what I'm saying? So you can't sit there and say, "Oh, I'm making all this up. I'm wrong." And then on the flip side, when I say, "Okay, well, what's in her phone?" Well, I don't know what's in her phone. What does that have to do with anything? It has everything to do with everything, right? Because if you're claiming that you are all about monogamy and X, Y, and Z, and yet your girl's doing, she's doing all kinds of shit with other dudes or other chicks. A lot of these chicks are bisexual now too, and they're all about
Of course they are.
exploring. They're all about exploring, right?
Drex, have you ever had a fantasy of like making out with a good friend, like with Nick? Have you ever had a fantasy
No,
of making out with Nick?
dudes don't have that. Dudes don't
No,
have that.
women
Yeah,
do.
yeah, women do.
Every woman's had a fantasy about
Yeah,
making
yeah,
out with
yeah,
their
yeah.
best friend.
Dudes don't have dudes don't look at their friends sexually. Unless you are homosexual, I've never heard a guy be like, I consider no, 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 no. Guys don't have and that's the reason why I don't like when people start doing that whole if you smash a chick with another dude, that makes you gay. Well, how does that fucking make sense? You
No,
keep hearing that
that's the
shit.
South Park line. Bro, you're hanging out with a girl? That's gay.
Yeah, yeah. It just starts to sound silly because dude, I'm not looking at this dude in any sexual context. I'm here to smash this broad. So when this and here's the thing, I really do kind of feel bad for this guy. What's that?
You make her scream, which is better than anyone who's coming at you can do.
Yeah, dude, you're there for a purpose. Like I said, you remember what I always tell you guys. At the end of the day, her solipsism, use it to your advantage. She's just living in a movie, man. You're just like I said, you're just a side character. You're an extra. So you have a choice. Do you want to just be an extra in the credit in her credits, or do you want to be elevated to whatever status based on your performance? That's how she views you. Like, remember we talked about
Yeah.
this, Tim. That's
You're
why
an extra
women
in her rom com. Jesus.
you know it's true. They
Yep.
use names for dudes, right? Not your real name. You know, like I said, you're weed guy. You're you're Mr. Big Willie. Like they'll give you whatever name. And like I said, I've been questioned about this by women I know, Tim. I have been questioned about what name because the women in my phone are all stored by their actual name, right? It's wherever they're from and then their actual name, right? So if you're from Chicago, I call you Chicago Christina. You see what I'm saying? Women
Yep.
are always shocked because they're projecting. They're like, wait a minute. He calls me by he calls all people by their real name. And then you go to her phone, dude, she has so many different names for guys, man. She has all kinds of names because they view you as an object. You're a role to her, a role. Hence in Mr. Was it Sex and the City, Mr. Big? You see what I'm saying? Name a guy who walks around calling a woman in his phone like Miss Slim. You see what I'm saying? Like that's just not the way guys are. You know, that's Tracy. Right? She has a name, right? Men personalize. This guy, Tim, he just has to do what's best for him. Like I said, if friends with benefits, it can't work with friends with bens. I promise you, it can't. Women aren't going to let friends with bens work. Women aren't going to let you keep smashing without some kind of commitment eventually. So he just needs to find out what works best for him. You see what I'm saying? What's the absolute best deal for him? Here's the thing. What is it so here's the thing, Tim. Is this guy kind of like looking for like a traditional monogamous relationship? Is that kind of what he's looking for?
Mm,
Because you know
most time, no.
he's saying what he misses. But because here's the thing though, if a guy says, you know, I've turned to these kind of workers, but he said he was missing something. What is it that he's claimed he was missing?
Well, remember the guy who was talking about cheating on his doll? Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, by the way, he did send a follow-up email too, but I want to wait till
Oh,
we get Phil back to deal with that
oh,
one.
okay.
But like, do you remember we were kind of going through? Okay, is this person have a band like TFM? Right? Is
Mm-hmm.
there an actual like a psychological reason under it? Right? Like TFM has said many times, he's got abandonment issues,
Yep.
and Celestina's never going to leave him
Yep.
until he throws her out.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I mean, right?
Yep.
That might be something that's going on here. Maybe this guy's got some abandonment issues, or he's got a terrible relationship with his family or with his
Mm-hmm.
parents, and he's got he needs someone to kind of fill the void. So hit us up if you got a little extra info. But like, it sounds like it worked. I forget who I attribute this quote to, but the guy's always like, "Look, it worked for me." Right? And I think that's kind of what you're coming from here on this email. It
Mm-hmm.
worked for me. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you.
Agreed. Because
So,
this thing, everything is so different. Like I said, the whole thing about MGTOW is that people are always going their own path, right? What is their path, right? Their own
yeah.
way.
So what do you
So
want? Be honest.
yeah, because a guy can only answer a question as best he can. But I can always try to interject and put myself in your shoes, right? That's just genuine empathy. But it's like you could like he's saying, I can only go on based on what information I've been provided, right? Because
Yeah.
think about it, Tim. If you gave someone advice and then someone comes back and goes, "Oh, by the way, I have abandonment issues and X, Y, and Z," you go, "Okay, well, if I knew that, I would give you different advice." You see what I'm saying? It changes the advice. So based on the advice that I'm getting, you have to do what's best for you in terms of what kind of like I say, if you still want sex with regular women, not a sex doll from Dollhouse Phil, you would adjust accordingly. Okay, I'm okay with these kinds of short-term relationships or getting a professional. And if you want something more, you have to consider what is it that you're willing to sacrifice to get that something more because he's already been burned, right? He's already been burned. So you get that's all on you of
Yeah.
what you're looking to do.
It kind of sounds like this guy, he's his own way is going to be finding the unicorn, unfortunately. And far too many people rely on finding the unicorn. But
Honestly, that needs to stop. That's something like men are true hopeless women. Like the definition of hopeless and the definition of romantic. I think defines way too many men. Men need to accept you know what's kind of crazy about that, Tim? Women accept the reality of today, right? That the traditional family is completely gone, right? Women accept that, right? Why do you think they file 80% of divorces and they're the first ones running to the court for child support, alimony, blah, blah, blah. They got side dudes, blah. So that means women have fully accepted the way the world is, right? You don't hear women sitting there saying, I want the perfect man. I want to be a loving mother. When's the last time you heard a woman say that? Be honest. I want to be a loving mother to my children and not work while my man provides for me and I cook and clean. When's the last time you heard a fucking broad say that? You don't hear it, right? So they have accepted the modern reality, right? This postmodern world we live in, right? Yet it's the dudes who keep having this like this romantic view of, but I want this. Dude, that doesn't exist anymore. Like, why is it so hard to accept? And the guys keep going to this unicorn. But Drake's, I want to find my like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, what does it take for guys to just stop? To stop believing the lie? I mean, I want to know.
And I think with this guy, the best advice we can give him is you need to define the rule set that you're going to be operating in. Because right now you've got a lot of questions. Should I be with strippers? Should I try to go back into the lifestyle? Should I, like, what do you want? And be honest too. Remember, lying to us, it just means lying to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're just internet people, right? Nobody knows who
Yep.
I am. Nope. And I mean, they know the Drexel from Nick's show, but they don't know you.
Correct.
Right? They don't know what your favorite color is. So anytime you lie to us, you're just lying to yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what therapists say all the time too. Like Ken Jennings says that too. If you lie to Ken Jennings, that's nothing. You're lying to yourself. All Ken Jennings does is gives you the mirror that you can examine yourself with.
Absolutely. Well, here's the thing though. If you go to sit down with a therapist, right? Okay, so you paid a therapist to sit down and talk out your issues, right? What is it that you gain by sitting there like withholding information? Like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to open up. Well, if you don't open up,
this is embarrassing. I'm going to be judged on this. It's like
correct, yeah. So now, and that's why, like, if you, this kind of goes back to what we just said, right? Everyone can only go give you advice and stuff based on what you've told them, right? Like every reaction that you have is based on what you like. If someone says, hey Tim, there's a little smoke over there, right? If I say hey Tim, there's a little smoke over there, you're gonna get up and walk over, right? Oh, damn, what the hell? But if I say, Tim, the fucking building's on fire, you're gonna react differently because what I just told you,
the information you gave me was different.
And how I delivered that information, right? If I come at you very immediate, oh my god, man, this fucking now you're more panicked. Oh shit, damn, because that's how it was brought to you.
I actually did that in Nick's house once.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I think this was when Nick was still fixing his kitchen, so he was using the smoker, and I guess some of the smoke was working through his house's ventilation, and it piped back into his basement. So I go downstairs to go down to the vault, and I see a bunch of smoke in his basement. I'm like, "Hey Nick, there's a bunch of smoke down here." He moved pretty fucking fast, man.
Yep.
We figured it out though because it smelt like whatever he was cooking. I think it was
correct.
I think he was smoking some brisket or something. Anyways, we were able to figure it out, but it's like, just a funny tangent story about seeing smoke. I never seen Nick take anything as seriously as telling him that there's smoke in his basement.
Well, but remember this though: the information you gave him it elicited the appropriate response, and that's the reason why,
which was drop what I'm doing and let's go investigate.
Correct. And remember, it's not a panic. Remember, you don't just hear that and then just immediately call the cops, right? You don't call the
he didn't grab the fire extinguisher or anything. We were just like, all right,
okay, let me diagnose, let me see, analyze, diagnose, and then now it creates another reaction, right? So if you saw something actually burning, shit, right? Like, yeah. And this goes for everything. And let me just say this though, Tim. This is the reason why I don't try to say I'm, black pill or something like that, but I'm like, the situation is that dire, right? The birth rates have completely collapsed. Marriage rate has collapsed. Marriage has collapsed, right? The school system, all these institutions that used to be there, that were there to help you, are there to hurt you now, right? That's
the nuclear family is on fire. There is no smoke. It's on fire.
It's done, man. The whole, like I said, unless you
It
live in
burnt down, and now they're poking through it looking for hot spots.
yeah. Well, here's the thing though. One of the things that it kind of irks me still is that when people start doing the whole like, "Well, it's not all," or "Well," I'm like, dude, don't
What's
tell
left?
me
Tell me right now what's left.
what's left. Seriously, like I said,
Ain't
school is
nothing
done.
left.
Your workplace is against you. The media is
The
against. So
government's against
every
you.
government's against. So everyone's against you. So don't tell me that like oh no, it's the only people who are saying that usually are people who are in the middle of nowhere, living in a rural. Not everyone in the United States can live in a rural environment. Period. That's just it's not plausible. It's not possible. So you have to take the information that you have now, see the world as it is, not as you want it to be, right? Not as you romanticize it, but just take it as it is and go, okay, I have to respond accordingly. Okay. Yes, women are not going to go to the family court and get rid of it. I promise you they won't because they don't care. Women are incapable of love. Therefore, they are incapable of love. They are incapable of empathy. Therefore, they will never go to the family court to destroy it. So what happens? Everything has to completely collapse. And because remember, if everything collapses, the family court has to collapse with it, right?
Yeah.
If there's no government, there's no family court. Okay, so now women will then, like I said, Tim, suddenly they love you again, right? You know, this is like what guys are experiencing right now is nothing new. This is not like this has never happened in human history. Yeah, it has. This happens. That's why, like TFM said, it's just a reset, right? It's always
The changing.
this starts
He described it as the
change of
changing
the
of the
seasons.
seasons.
And so this is what happens. So once you're at this stage, like you can't turn it back. You can't say, "Oh, well, I want it to be this." It doesn't matter if you want it to be that. You know, whatever it is you want. This is the way it is. You just have to accept it and act accordingly.
All right, everybody. That'll do it for today's episode. You know where to find us. Also, check out our channel on Migtown.tv. We're trying to support alternative media platforms. We tried doing a test live stream. It didn't work out so great, but we're definitely going to go back and do it again. We'll probably bring Phil in, the unofficial co-host of this podcast. You guys love Phil. We love Phil, and Phil loves us, I hope. Anyways, you guys have a great night. Stay frosty, everyone.
Peace.